Brian Wiggins, Brad Range.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, welcome to the Annie Fry Show. If you are out and about right now, I just want to tell you, I was driving to work today late this morning, and I got here and I thought, I think that's the worst driving I've ever done. I just felt as though I was incapable of driving. Now, I went to Chicago over the weekend with my whole family, so my husband drove for the whole weekend, so I thought maybe due to being away from the wheel for an extended weekend, maybe I just forgot how to drive. You'd think that in 4 days I wouldn't forget how to drive. I got out of the car and I almost blew over. The wind is wild outside right now.
Are you blaming the wind for your poor driving, or are you just saying?
I am saying it was a factor. I don't... yes, is the wind's fault?
I'm not gonna...
No.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't.
It was whipping the car. Like,
Yeah.
you had to work to keep... That's what I felt like. I was just kind of like driving back and forth. Now, I did also turn the auto sense. The van has it senses the lines on the road.
Uh-huh.
And if you get towards the line, it pops you back into place.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Well, that's extreme.
It had been, well, it depends on how much you test it. But like that is a perfect example of when the wind is kind of shifting you within your lane a little bit and the car is going, nope, not over there.
Ah.
Nope, not over there. I just felt like I worked out driving the 22 minutes to work today.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a workout. I always think when it's windy like this and I'm driving a car and I can feel it blowing, man, I'd hate to be driving one of those British buses right now.
I don't know about the British buses, but the semi-trucks, you've got your work cut out for you today. Maybe there's a solution out there for you. Maybe Ivermectin can fix your bad driving. I don't know. You're saying Ivermectin, Annie. I know what everybody's talking about in the news every day, and we're continuing to cover all the big stories. But I am asking you in the YouTube poll today, have you ever taken Ivermectin? I'm seeing more reports. There's just this steady little flow, this undercurrent of people who are taking ivermectin. We played a few weeks ago a clip from over a year ago from Chris Cuomo being like, oh, yeah, I'm on ivermectin every day. It's what I do. And I've noticed in my own personal life people who said that they've been taking it this whole time. Now, our options for today on the YouTube poll, youtube.com/@AnnieFry. You find the live broadcast that we're have up every day, and in the live chat of the live broadcast, you can vote. I do not have enough information on ivermectin, and I will tell you right now, I've never taken it. I have lots of people in my close circle who have taken it, and I don't feel like I can talk to anybody. It's like, listen, ivermectin is the CrossFit of pharmaceuticals.
Thank you. That's very well put.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you say something about ivermectin to an ivermectin taker, it's the best and only thing that's ever been good
Eternal
in life. Yeah. It trumps everything. If you talk to somebody who has been on the ivermectin bandwagon from the beginning, which is like before COVID, there are people who have known the benefits of it from before COVID. Those people are a little more calm. The people who discovered it during COVID, they are missionaries for the usage of ivermectin. And I'm just somebody who's like arm's length for everything, want to know more about it. But I don't, you can't go to a CrossFit person and they tell you like,
objectively,
oh, it works. It's a good thing, good camaraderie or whatever, but there's a lot of things out there. You should try them all. Or you like walk up in the grocery store and you're like, do you know where the milk is? They're like, I do CrossFit. And you're like, okay, could you show me if you were to like pump two gallons of milk in your hand, where would you start that process by explaining to me where the milk is? So I don't know. I'm not knocking people who take ivermectin. I actually am curious about it. I want to know more. I think I've always wanted to ask this question, but I feel like maybe we're on the end of YouTube allowing this conversation to take place now. We'll find out on the numbers at the end of the show.
Yeah, by 3 o'clock if you can't stream us.
She had ivermectin in the subject. Eliminated. Probably a CrossFitter, actually. The CrossFit lackeys are out there going, take her down.
Nah, just a communist.
Oh. You said that as if it were a step down.
It is.
I've done CrossFit before. Wasn't for me. I'm a competitor. People are like, oh, if you like competition, you're going to love CrossFit. And I'm like, love competition. Didn't like CrossFit. Don't need that. But I do know a lot of people who do CrossFit. I know a lot of people who use ivermectin. They're super pumped about it. I'm looking for a non. I don't want someone to persuade me to use it. I just want somebody to tell me, here are the benefits. And this is the other thing. Like if I go to an expert and have an expert on the show to talk about it, I've got to do a ton of research. I just assume that any expert that comes onto the show who's talking about ivermectin in the public media space, that they too would have an angle.
Heck yeah, they would. Most people that are against it have a hard angle.
Who do we talk to about this? And so I decided that I would talk to you, that I would give you the opportunity to give me your feedback. If you want to proselytize about it, come onto the Annie Fry YouTube channel and comment away. But we also will take your text messages on this. 314-241-9797 on the Annie Fry text line. 314-241-9797. It's just like basically like all things ivermectin. Do not text us about CrossFit. Uninterested.
Well, you can. It's just that I'm not going to pay attention to it.
No, but here's the other thing. If we get so many text messages, Ryan he panics and he just starts to rock back and forth in his chair. He doesn't know what to do.
That does happen.
Yeah.
But although you could convince me to do CrossFit by 3 o'clock too. So
that's actually not accurate. No freaking way. We will look to have experts on. We don't have an expert on today because I wanted to take a poll about it before we had somebody to come on that would potentially persuade you on it. I want your raw opinions. Ivermectin, do you take it? Have you ever taken ivermectin? Yes, no, but you would, no, or you need more information on it. From the beginning of the show, I usually don't vote on it at the beginning of the show. I am a need more information on it category, but we'll get to you guys later.
We're already getting texts.
Good. Anything good? Are they about CrossFit? I don't want them about CrossFit.
This person says, now you could just replace the word CrossFit in here.
No,
but it says
I don't want CrossFit texts. They're going to continue to come.
It says
I want ivermectin text, Ryan.
Ivermectin when I had COVID. I love it. It did great. And the next person says, I take ivermectin even now and fenbendazole quarterly.
This is not medical advice, especially when he goes fenbendazole.
I don't know what that word is.
Quarterly.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, ivermectin in my research, which I feel all of it is slanted. So I'm just reading all the things and trying to cross-sect it so that I can see where the consistencies are and what exists. The anti-parasite nature of it is something that it seems if you ask them, that everybody should be taking it.
We just got our first text about CrossFit.
I don't want the CrossFit texts to 314-241-9797. Unless they're CrossFit jokes. We could pile those up for later. But I need to know if ivermectin is a good thing or if this is like big ivermectin coming to get us. Maybe ivermectin is responsible for COVID.
The whole point of ivermectin is that there was no big ivermectin?
That's what they want you to think.
Okay.
Big ivermectin.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like a totally rando poll. And there's a President Trump was speaking outside of the White House under Marine One. And I was thinking, I'll start the show playing that. But it's under helicopter. It's so hard to hear. If you're watching it and you can see his lips moving, different story. I'm not going to... There was no major headline other than he said that their Navy is completely eliminated. He was asked about, if you might have heard, that Iran said that I'm going to figure out by the end of this conflict if I'm going to say Iran or Iran.
Iran.
Go on.
Iran is elitist.
Iran. All right. I think I like that one.
All right, Miss California.
Well, if you listen to me when I'm talking about it, I panic in the middle of the word every single time.
You're not alone.
It's
Everybody does that.
Yeah, and just get off me with this Khamenei. It's been Khamenei this whole freaking time.
And Qatar.
No, that one seems universally. I honestly think with Qatar, I don't think anybody knows.
I know, and it's Qatar.
Qatar.
No.
That's the Qatari is, I think, how they say the people, which makes me think that it should be Qatar. But then you talk to people who are like generals and they say cutter. And then if you listen a little bit longer, they might say guitar later. And I just don't think that there's a real answer out there. Alan Jackson's not Remember When, that's a different song. What's his 9/11 song?
Ooh, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I don't know Alan Jackson that well.
World Stop Turning. Something like that. I could sing it, but
I'll
won't.
find it for you.
But one of the lines in his song is the difference in Iraq and Iran. And I always want to say the difference in Iran and Iran. The updated version of it.
Where were you when the world stopped turning?
Yeah. Incredible song. Yeah, that could be my poll. Is it Iran? Do you say Iran or Iran or sometimes both?
It's just written. People don't know what they're voting for.
I
do the same thing with Caribbean.
No, I would say I would make it phonetic.
Okay.
People would be able to understand. All right, ivermectin. That's how we're starting the show today. You didn't see that one coming. And we're not going to have like a deep studied conversation about it today because I need to know where you are. I should have put an option on the poll for I hate ivermectin and I'm really mad at it because that seems as though one of the possible options that some people might take. You got more text?
This text says I load up on ivermectin before I CrossFit.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I know.
Does it help? Do you like really pump extra iron that way?
Now, this one is illegitimate because I think there are a lot of people in this category. This person says, I've only heard about ivermectin for COVID usage. Does it do more?
I think the whole point that has been missed in this whole thing is didn't it like win a Nobel Peace Prize? If it didn't, it was like one of the final ones. And this is all before COVID.
Yeah.
The benefits, if you listen to the ivermectin bros.
You know who you are.
Yeah, they walk amongst us. If you listen to them, there are enormous benefits that, like that person says they take it quarterly, that people just take it. And I hear people say that they take the horse paste version of it, that you get it like Farm and Home or Rural King. I don't know nothing, which is why I voted for Need More Information on it. But I'm actually asking you, and I'm asking you because I want a collective response. I want a cross-section of real people out there who, you answering this question, you're not selling me anything. You're just giving me information based on what you've learned, what your experience is. Flood us with this, and this might be where we get our second strike on YouTube. I don't know. But come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave us your comments. We'll feature them throughout the course of the show, and text us on the Annie Fry Show text line 314-241-9797. Jeannie Evans is joining us when we return. She is also a candidate for the United States Senate seat out of the state of Illinois. Dick Durbin retired, and Jeannie Evans is vying to win that primary for United States Senate. Let's talk to Jeannie Evans on what her campaign offers the people of Illinois and what she is looking at. She got enough runway here to close the deal because that primary is March 17th, but you can vote right now. You got to get out in Illinois. You got to vote in this primary. Get your voice out there and be heard. Jeannie Evans on the Annie Fry Show next.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Home power used to be simple. Now the car plugs in, the scooter plugs in, the space heater plugs in, and your electric panel starts popping.
That sounds bad, but I like popcorn.
Popcorn is great, sparks are not. Call Grasser. We'll upgrade your panel so you can run it all.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Men. Need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
It's Mark Reardon. I'm with Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. And if you're thinking about refinancing, he has some great advice.
Mark, this is a great time to refinance. If you financed over the last 3 years, you're probably paying a higher rate. Take advantage now. Refinance with the Bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, nothing. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. For those of you folks that are waiting on the sideline saying, hey, maybe the rates will go down more, I'm going to wait. Take advantage now. A bird in the hand's better than two in the bush. Refinance, get the cash out you need, get a lower rate, maybe even go from a 30 to a 20 year and keep that payment the same. All with the Bagel loan.
And this is a quick process, right?
We close in 10 days. We send a notary out to your house to close so you don't have to take off any time from work. It's easy. It's simple. Bing, bam, boom. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Deal with somebody local, somebody who has a reputation, somebody who has accountability. I'm here in town. You can call me or text me after hours, weekends, whenever it's convenient for you.
Call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440 or Google the Bagel loan. NMLS number 226715.
The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Annie Fry is St. Louis conservative.
But have circumstances, that's a position I've heard since this fight began, but have circumstances changed since bombs started dropping out of the sky on Iran?
Well, we should watch that very carefully. We want to protect our troops first and foremost, but we also want to protect the American people when it comes to their basic constitutional rights. To think that this mass paramount military is going to run roughshod over people across America is unacceptable.
There is the senator from Illinois, retiring Senator Dick Durbin, reacting to a question there on CNN about the war and about what that's going to mean in his support for it in the future. I like that he said he wants to protect the troops, but there's a lot of questions to remain. You know, specifically, is Dick Durbin going to support the Save America Act? No. But he's retiring, so he's got the rest of this year, and then he's out of there. And we've got Republican candidates in the state of Illinois who are vying to win that nomination. The primary election ends. This is how you have to say it in Illinois. Ends on March 17th. The voting is open right now, so you can go cast a ballot right now on your lunch in the state of Illinois. And Jeannie Evans is joining us now as a candidate for Senate in the state of Illinois. Jeannie, thank you for being with us today. It's great to have you on the show with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. You're an attorney. I want to encourage people to go to JeanieEvans.com, JeAnnie. It's like J-E Annie. I like that. Jeannie, talk to me about your your history leading up to saying, yes, I'd like to run for a Dick Durbin seat in the Senate and represent Illinois citizens?
Yeah, with Dick Durbin retiring and with Illinois having one-party Democrat rule for so long, we continue to see high prices and high crime. I've been concerned about these things. We need someone who's going to bring a fresh voice, who will innovate to make our communities safer and bring down prices for consumers. I'm a political outsider. So I graduated from Harvard Law School. I've worked as a lawyer, taking on powerful corporations and leveling the playing field for small businesses and American consumers. I do antitrust work. So I sue companies for price fixing. The goal is if companies are illegally violating the antitrust laws to raise prices, we sue them to bring down prices to promote competition and make things better for Americans. I've been successful in recovering billions of dollars for American families. I've been named one of the top antitrust enforcement lawyers in the country. I want to bring those skills to Washington to take on markets that are anti-competitive, like energy, housing, healthcare, and remove the anti-competitive structures in those industries to make them competitive, transparent, and bring down prices dramatically for American consumers. I think that's very important right now, and I want to take that on.
Jeannie Evans speaking with us, a candidate for the United States Senate seat in Illinois, and JeanieEvans.com is the website. So that's a little bit about you. It sounds like you have a experienced, well-educated background coming into the Senate. Talk to me about what Illinois residents, common folk, not the Harvard lawyers that exist here in the state of Illinois, but people like me, people like those folks in southwestern Illinois listening right now. What are they wanting out of their senator that they are not getting from Dick Durbin that you would bring?
Under Democrat rule, we see high taxes, we see high regulations. So I want to work with our president, Trump, to reduce the regulations on business, cut the red tape, cut the taxes so that businesses can thrive and create jobs and opportunities. In Illinois, under Democrat rule, we see companies leaving the state. We've had major employers like Boeing, Caterpillar, Tyson Foods, Citadel leaving, taking jobs with them, taking tax base. We want to keep those jobs. We want to have opportunities for our kids and grandkids. I think that's what the voters want. And we've also had people leaving because, taxes are too high, prices are too high. So also we have an issue with crime. So, I've raised my family, my husband and I, we've been married for 32 years. We've raised our family on the south side of Chicago. Our 4 kids have attended Chicago public schools. We're active in our Christian church community. And we've seen the devastating impact of crime. The Democrat leadership has not solved this problem. There are people in areas with crime who want to see more. We need a conservative Republican like myself who will support law enforcement, who will back the blue, who will increase staffing levels and give police the resources, the tools, the training they need, and the respect, frankly, to do their jobs and make our communities safer. And so I'm committed to doing that.
You're listening to a candidate for Senate in Illinois, Jeannie Evans, right now, JeanieEvans.com. Jeannie, there's a divide in this state between essentially Cook County and everybody else. We could call it downstate, but downstate is also usually west as well as down. What do you need from Southern Illinois? What do you know about Southern Illinois? I encourage my audience as Southern Illinoisans to understand that we are much stronger with Chicago, that Chicago corruption needs to be fixed in order to make us one of the strongest states in the union. There's not a lot of hope from people down here listening when I say that. They kind of laugh at that. Talk to me about the strength of Southern Illinois and what you're hearing from them and a partnership that we can bring together with Cook County.
Yeah, I am a strong supporter of people in Southern Illinois. I have been campaigning all over the state. I've had campaign stops in Southern Illinois and Western Illinois Central, and I'm talking to voters all over the state, and I'm listening to them, and I hear the things that they care about. And one of the things they care about is prices. Their electric bills are too high, the property taxes are too high, and I want to work for them to bring down those prices. I want to bring common sense to Washington and support their rights and their freedoms. And we need this Southern Illinois. And one thing I appreciate about, all my campaign stops in Southern Illinois, I love that we start all our meetings with a prayer. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and people have strong conservative values. And I want to say to them, because, and I'll address one of my competitors in this race, Don Tracy, has placed some attack ads that are just false. I think they're desperate to win the election, but he's accused me of being a Democrat. And I want people to know that those are false. Those are just a ploy to win the campaign. You'll see all those ads are paid for by Don Tracy. I am a conservative Republican. I was blessed with wonderful parents who raised me in a Christian home to love the gospel and to also love the American Constitution. My father read to me from the Federalist Papers as bedtime stories. He read to me from Democracy in America by de Tocqueville. He taught me to love our Constitution and want to stand up for it. And that's one of the reasons, he was from a small town, but he wanted me to be a constitutional lawyer, to be able to stand up for our constitutional liberties, our freedoms, freedom of speech, free enterprise. And I was inspired by that. And I ended up working hard and going to Harvard Law School. And I stand up for those principles, and I will always stand up for the Constitution and our democracy. And I just want people to know I am a strong Christian conservative in this race, and I'm committed to protecting our liberties and to reducing the size of government. So one of the problems people in Southern Illinois are seeing is there's just too many regulations that make it hard for businesses, too many taxes that make it hard for them to stay in business. And I'm going to be working to reduce those. And that's going to benefit people all over the state, Southern Illinois, as well as the Chicago area.
Jeannie Evans on the phone with us, candidate for Senate in Illinois. Jeannie, this is Ryan. Something you said kind of piqued my interest, and I just wanted to follow up on it. You said that you wanted to increase competition in specifically energy, but other areas as well. I just got my Ameren bill, and it was pretty high. And so very personal question here. How do you, because it sounds creative, like how do you plan on doing that would bring energy prices down?
Yeah, well, I think promoting competition, right? The more competition you have, that helps bring down prices. Also increasing supply. The more supply you have, if demand stays constant, you lower your prices. So with energy, we need to increase competition and increase supply. We need to draw on all the sources of energy that we have. So not just focused on one source. We can use our oil, our nuclear, our coal. We can look at solar and wind. There might be some kinds of energy that are a long way off, and we have to use the supply we have now and be developing other supply. But we need to use all the different kinds of supply, and we need to give businesses the freedom. We don't want the government telling them that they have to mandate a certain percentage of electric vehicles or some other percentage of a particular kind of energy. We need to trust businesses to be able to decide for themselves what they need. I was interested watching the State of the Union. President Trump mentioned an innovative idea about energy. He said, in areas where a new company is going to come in and really draw on the local energy supply, and that could raise prices for local residents, local businesses, that he might require those businesses to create their own energy supply. So they're not competing and they're not pulling from that energy, so it's not raising those prices. So I think that was an interesting idea, and we can innovate to find ways to increase the supply all around, to promote competition of different sources and different providers, and that will bring down prices.
Jeannie Evans speaking with us right now, candidate for United States Senate seat from Illinois, Dick Durbin's seat as he is retiring. I got one last question for you, and I'd like you to start broadly, and of course you can bring it back to your race specifically. But a lot of people think Illinois is hopeless. Blue, 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 top to bottom. You ask downstaters, they think we're just screwed because of Cook County and Chicago. I want to encourage people to open their minds and understand that the only hope we have is through, 24% of Cook County voting for a statewide Republican gets us the actual red seat in the Senate or in a statewide race. You don't need to win Cook County. You need to compete in Cook County, get like 1 out of 4 voters to go red. Talk to me right now about the possibility in this 2026 election come November, should you win the primary, can Republicans win?
We can. We absolutely can. We had Republicans winning U.S. Senate and governor. We had a Republican senator and governor up until 2018. It's not that long ago. The people of our state are more moderate or conservative. We can get those votes, and we need to share the message. The message I bring about lower taxes, lower prices, lower crime. And also, I also want to talk about education. These are things that appeal to Republicans and Democrats. They are common sense. They are reasonable. They're going to help everybody. And I'm going to work on getting the extra vote we need from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. There's a group in Chicago called Chicago Flips Red, where it's Democrats in Chicago, a lot of them moms who are who are fed up with the crime and the bad schools, and they want something different. And we're going to be working with them to bring out some of that Chicago vote to vote Republican so we can solve those problems. And we're going to try to reclaim a lot of the suburban women vote that used to vote Republican and has started to vote Democrat. Because we have the answers that they want. We have jobs for their kids, making sure education is about the kids, not about the teachers union. And we're going to be, making their communities safer. And so these are the answers that they're going to want. And I'd like to take a minute, if you have it, to address one of the competitors in the race, Don Tracy, who's talked about his endorsements. He is the establishment candidate. He has been running since 20 years longer than me, since 2002, where he ran as a Democrat. He's been the chair of the Republican Party, but during that time, we did not gain any Republican seats statewide. And he also resigned in the middle of his term in 2024, an important election cycle. So what I'm trying to tell people is I have been winning in court. I have been standing up to power. I am tough in the courtroom. I am tough in the negotiation table. I will not give up. He said the infighting within the Republican Party was too hard and he resigned. But let me tell you, it's going to be a lot tougher in the U.S. Senate. And I am ready to stand up to that fight and to stand up for conservative principles and to work with our president to reduce the taxes and the regulations that are making it so hard for the people of our state and our country. And I hope people will give me a chance, a fresh voice of the Republican Party in Illinois, Jeannie Evans, for United States Senate.
Jeannie, last question. I only got like 30 seconds. Would you support the Save America Act?
Oh, yes. I'm definitely for voter ID. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Jeannie Evans, we appreciate you giving us some of your time this afternoon. That primary is March 17th, but we know people can go vote right now. Cast your ballot. Get it locked in, folks. Do not delay. Jeannie Evans, thank you for the time. We'll have you back again soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
It's JeannieEvans.com, JeannieEvans, Evans.com. You can follow her on X at Jeannie4IL. She's an attorney, and she is a candidate for Senate here in the state of Illinois. Jeannie Evans. Good to have her on the show with us. Quick break. Don't forget that YouTube live chat poll. Have you ever taken ivermectin? Gosh, you say ivermectin, it's like a siren. All of a sudden, look at all those people standing outside holding up ivermectin signs right now. You see them?
I see a couple on there looking at their phones, wondering if we're still on YouTube.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Ivermectin.
Hey, you guys. We're talking about ivermectin and you.
The YouTube poll. It's just full. We're just full of crap. Have you taken it? Yes. No, but you would. No, or you need more information on it. I am of the need more information category. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to take it. I don't know what to take. I don't know where to get it. I don't know what the dosage is. I don't know nothing, and I don't know who to talk to about it. So we're talking to you folks. We're talking to the listeners.
20 cc's into your forehead to start.
After you.
Okay.
You first.
That's enough of you, Dr. Ryan.
All right, let's take a quick break. Go vote. Text us your thoughts. We want your ivermectin thoughts on the Annie Fry text line, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you haven't called Matt Hayes, you're like downstairs in your basement right now bailing water out. That's not the right plot process. That's not the right plan. The plan is put the bucket down and put the shop vac hose down and pick up your phone and call Matt Hayes right now. 314-271-9900. 271-9900. That's the number to call so that you get your basement fixed, so that you don't ever have to have the bucket downstairs in the basement or the shop vac or just the general trepidation looking at the forecast going, crap, it's going to happen again. You know you have an issue. You know you need to get it fixed. You are afraid of what that might mean, and I'm here to tell you if you don't do something about it now, it's going to get a lot worse down the road. So give a man who can fix your problem a phone call. Invite him over. He can look at your basement. He can tell you how to fix that water problem that you have, and he'll put a lifetime warranty on the solution that he can offer you. 314-271-9900. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
Well, we are talking about ivermectin today because Annie is curious about ivermectin. So you can vote in that poll. But just a reminder, too, that we are giving away tickets to see Jimmy Fallon in the 2 o'clock hour today, probably the middle of the 2 o'clock hour. So come back then or just stick around with us for that chance at more tickets to see Jimmy Fallon. We're doing that all this week.
You know how I told you there are people out in the park right now?
Yeah.
I think there's somebody out there talking to a tree.
I don't think he has anything to do with us.
Well, completely unrelated to ivermectin.
He's probably waiting for 2:30.
Probably.
To call and win Jimmy Fallon tickets.
Yeah. The tree is not talking back.
You don't know that. You're in here.
Not loudly.
Jimmy Fallon at the Factory on April 11th. And we are giving away another pair of tickets to see that show today. 12:40. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com.
Built on backbone, not buzzwords. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Tonight, I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive.
So, like, on the ivermectin thing, can you imagine in your head, like, all the insults? Horse paste, horse meds, like, that's what, didn't you just read a comment from someone who said something about horse something or other?
Yeah, the comment said...
But it was actual advice.
Yeah, get the apple-flavored stuff from Rule King.
Is that a joke, though?
I don't know.
See, we don't know nothing.
We don't know nothing.
Anything.
We know nothing. Do you have to take it every day? Do you just take it when you're sick?
No.
No? You take it all the time? This person said they take it quarterly. Once? Like once every 4 months?
I don't, celebrities will endorse things. Celebrities will make fun of things. I think that the PSYOP thing, that's another buzzword, PSYOP, as if there are people being paid to say particular things en masse, influential people. Influential people are like celebrities, public figures or whatever. We now have influential people, but we also have influencers. And I think influential people are more influential than influencers, but influencers are trying real hard.
Whoa.
Did you keep up?
No.
I
was talking to that tree.
Listen to the podcast, but listen to it in like halftime. So that you understand
Slow this
it.
show down. It's too intense.
I thought you weren't going to say show. Here's Chris Cuomo. This is a year ago on the Patrick Bet David PBD podcast.
I'll tell you something else that's going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin.
Do you know how he says
Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong.
Okay, he says was a boogeyman over during COVID. Would you say that ivermectin is just casual speak now?
No, it's not just something that people talk about all the time.
Well, I think maybe they say
we were given bad information about ivermectin. The real question is why. everyone's going to say Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe.
Can we just interject here? I think this is Chris Cuomo post. Chris Cuomo being on cable news when he's sitting here on the PBD podcast. And he says, the real question is why? It's like, buddy, that's a question a journalist would have asked in the moment.
Yeah, he kind of missed the boat on this.
Kinda. He missed the boat. He's like one of the wealthy people who got in the boat on the Titanic when it got down, when there were still peasantry men, women, and children floating in the water. And he's like, bye, ivermectin, should have tried it.
My shoes are made of velvet.
Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you.
Oh.
They knew it, Patrick.
Could he have asked that question when he was pumping iron? He's a total CrossFitter. You know that he would fit in with that crew. You could when he was pumping iron. Remember when he was quarantined to his basement when he had COVID? But he was quarantined while he was on the air. He would leave when he wasn't on the air, and people found him out there. Would that have been a good time to be asking these questions?
Any time other than once you lost your broadcast job would have been a great place to start.
Yeah.
I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID, and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything, but
they might have
it's
been.
cheap. It's not owned by anybody, and it's used as an antimicrobial, antiviral in all of these different ways and has been for a long time.
For malaria for over almost 20 years.
Yeah. So
to the people who are like, we're dipping into the ivermectin conversation right now, and you're like, Annie, why are you talking about this? I'm talking about it because I think now is a time where we can talk about it, where it's not attached to anything super hyper political. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you're talking about it during COVID, then, big medicines of the world, big vaccines of the world, they don't want you to take ivermectin because they want you to take the vaccine, I guess. At least that's the political lean on it. And I don't really see any evidence that suggests that isn't a reasonable assessment of the situation. It's not owned by anybody. He's talking about it treating, what do you say, malaria decades ago? We're 6 years removed. It's March 11th right now. We are about exactly 6 years from the day that we went home, and I didn't come back. I had a whole kid before I came back from COVID.
And my doctor, who is now my doctor, was using it during COVID on her family and on patients, and it was working for them. So they were wrong to play scared on that. Didn't know that at the time. Know it now. Admit it now. Reporting on it now. Because I think that's the job. The idea that, well, you were a vaccine proponent. Why wouldn't I have been a vaccine proponent? Now there are questions. Oh, no, but I knew at the time. No, you didn't. What you knew was that there were people telling you to be resistant to what the government was telling you to do.
So here's the thing about this that frustrates me. I'm going to give him credit, though. And again, this clip is at least a year old. It might be a 2024 clip. I still can't realize in my mind that last year was 2025.
I know.
That hasn't clicked in my head quite yet. It probably will about November. I give him credit for being willing to come out and talk like this. Other people, the Don Lemons of the world, they went way off the deep end. They got off their their cable news shows, and then they just did a cannonball into the deep end. Chris Cuomo, not so much, which makes me wonder, where is the real Chris Cuomo right now? Because I feel like the money in what he is now he's got a show on News Nation that developed over the course of time, and I like tuning into News Nation. If I'm looking for an alternative, News Nation is usually where I go first because it's the one place I feel like I can peek around the corner in a balanced way. So I appreciate that. I appreciate what News Nation is doing. So I would say that he's kind of got his career moving in a direction that he should be proud of. But this is the type, this questioning that he's doing in this clip. He asked the question at the end, why wouldn't I trust the vaccine? Because when you're in journalism, default is not to trust. It's to ask every challenging question that you possibly can ask and make experts of all different walks of life and beliefs to make experts answer those questions so that people like you and people like me can read what the experts are saying and, God forbid, make a decision for ourselves. The shoveling down our throats of you will take the vaccine and then the removing you from functional life if you didn't present a card. I think that when it comes to the Save America Act and voter ID, when it comes to that, and knowing that, like, if you wanted to go to a Blues game, you had to show your freaking card. And I don't know this from anything. It's an assumption that I have, strictly out of the brain cells, the few that I have rolling around in my head. The Blues were not checking the validity of these COVID cards.
Not that I know.
It was like, there's your card, moving along. What this country was willing to do to force people to take an injection, to have to show your papers to go participate in basic life. And we have a law that says you have to be a citizen to vote. And we're like, oh, it's too hard. You know, the Jim Crow 2.0, that is 100% Chuck Schumer saying that there's a race contingent in accessibility to documents. We'll talk to Deroy Murdock about that at 1:05 here on the Annie Fry Show. Have you ever taken ivermectin? Go to youtube.com/@AnnieFry. Find the live broadcast. Live chat is in the live broadcast of today's show. You can text us at 314-241-9797. AirComfortService.com. AirComfortService.com is the website. You can call Air Comfort Service for any HVAC concerns, heating, cooling, and insulation. They're there to help you all around at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091. I want to talk to you about an air scrubber. Yes, in the HVAC world, they're trying to make your home your, as they call it, comfort zone, which I really appreciate. Everybody's comfort zone is different. What you keep your home temperature at and what I do, probably a little bit different. But comfort is not just based on the temperature of the air. There's the humidity of the air. There's the quality of the air. Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, they have a special offer for you this month and this month only. So through March, if you get a new HVAC system installed, you're going to get an air scrubber for free. An air scrubber removes allergens, bacteria, viruses, VOCs, surface contaminants, odors, and more. If you're interested in this offer, which will expire at the end of the month, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here. Join me for the annual Lincoln Trump Day dinner with the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee, March 20th at Old Hickory Golf Club. Enjoy dinner, great guests, and a gun raffle. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
I'm Ted Dabrowski. I'm running for governor to breathe new life into our party and improve the quality of life in our state. Let's be honest about how we defeat Pritzker. Victory runs through the suburbs, and Darren Bailey is a disaster in the suburbs. To renominate him is to concede defeat. It's why Pritzker wanted to run against him 4 years ago and wants to again. Do you really want to experience these headlines again?
Governor J.B. Pritzker will serve another 4 years in office.
This was a resounding victory for Governor Pritzker.
The race was called just minutes after the polls closed.
Pritzker had a sizable advantage in Chicago and its suburbs.
I am the only candidate who can win the suburbs and end Pritzker's reign. It's why leading pro-lifers, American firsters, and conservative reformers support me. Republicans should always nominate the most conservative candidate who can win. That's me. I'm Ted Dabrowski, your conservative candidate for governor, and I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on March 17th. Paid for by Ted for Illinois.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Well, I got a tweet from John, a post on X. If you say post, that's not really specific enough. Kind of still need to call it a tweet so people know where it's from.
Yeah.
He needs to come up
Well,
with...
you said post on X.
Yeah, it's just a lot more to say. John says, no. And then in parentheses, ivermectin. The poll today, have you ever taken ivermectin? Yes, no, but I would, no, or need more.
Wiggins!
Oh! Wiggins!
I have here 100-year-old predictions for this year. And you have to tell me whether you think that we have achieved this or not. This is a journalist in 1926 who made predictions of what 2026 would look like in America.
Is 2026 still booming? Roaring 20s?
1926? Yes.
I would think so.
That would have been boom era.
The crash was in 29.
Correct.
Yes.
I know that, but I'm wondering if 26 was like popping.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really bummed that the 20 20s started out with COVID.
We could have had such a good time.
The roaring 20s became the boring 20s.
Yeah,
Going.
boring 20s. I was still trying to do flapper stuff, but nobody was doing it because they were all locked up.
You also misunderstood what flapper was, but go on.
I was trying to fly. Okay, these are things that this journalist predicted would be happening in 2026. Number 1, nations will live in permanent peace.
Okay, working on it.
This was post-World War I, which would have been called the Great War at the time.
Yeah, and then we got a little bit of a World War II action.
Yeah.
And a few more in there, but
it didn't really work.
Working on it.
Right away. So this one seems like it probably did not come true. How about the next? Jazz and gramophones will disappear.
Are these just? Is this just a wish list? I think this is just like hopeful.
This guy did not like jazz or gramophones.
Gramophones are like the record player thingies.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't exist now. I did get a record player for my 9-year-old for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
That's how she listens to Taylor Swift, because I can't give her any device where she can go listen to stream because you don't know what she's going to get. So I was like, here's a record.
You bought a Taylor Swift record?
My sister gave it to her, but I sent her the links of the things to buy. Yeah, she has a Taylor Swift vinyl and a record player.
Okay. Next one. Cinemas will close.
They're kind of closing,
Yeah,
but not like they're not. I mean,
they're not shutting down left and right everywhere.
No.
But they're not what they once were. So agree or disagree with that one?
Disagree.
Disagree. We will live in a vegetarian age.
Well, we're running low on cattle. So
the entire world hadn't renounced meat at the time, but veganism was on the rise. And many of us are more mindful of the meat we consume now.
maybe that was really the impetus for World War II, of revolt.
Maybe he was predicting 3D printed meat.
Ew. That would still be meat.
Women will return to more modest dress.
Well, that's true. They just wear pajamas.
Is that more modest?
Their sweatpants and oversized hoodies is what's in vogue right now.
Okay. I guess it doesn't have to be
High-rise
fancy.
mom jeans that are baggy, barrel jeans. Don't get me started on those suckers. Do you know what barrel jeans are?
No.
Google them on the break.
Barrel jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
Is
know
it
what they
like
are?
when
They're
people-
a bad idea.
People were real poor and they just wore barrels around.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Machines will save us time.
Yeah.
I like this guy's like, I'm gonna play it safe here. The 4-day work week will be a thing.
Everybody working from home. I mean, I'd even question 4 days.
I would say that this became more true. This is becoming more true every year in America. We'll be
You can't
able.
have a 4-day work week. You have to have a 4-day work week before you have a 4-day school week.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other. We'll be able to communicate from 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that one. Here's an interesting one to end the whole thing. Restrictions will lift on migration.
That happened.
I mean, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, he says he imagined a world, though it's like utopian. Though.
Guess how many miles wide the United States is?
How many miles wide? I don't know, 2,000?
I Googled it, but I would have zero frame of reference of what to guess.
I don't know.
Brad?
2,500?
2,800 miles coast to coast. So 4,000 miles, like if you were thinking 4,000 miles there, you're essentially thinking overseas.
Overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah. He imagined a world where boundary lines would disappear and migration would be commonplace because we all would be in peace and love.
That's Hillary Clinton.
This is the Democratic Party platform.
Utopia.
Everybody's a vegan.
And a communist. Socialist or something. I don't know.
Cinemas will close.
Deroy Murdock coming to join us next up here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Save America Act and Abigail Jackson, the White House Deputy Press Secretary, with us at 1:30. Stick around. Lots more Annie Fry Show right around the corner.
To work, not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-777-7777.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, buy one, get one room of carpet clean for free, unlimited rooms of carpet. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them 97.1 sent you.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
42% of Missouri fourth graders can barely read. 42%. It's the worst result in 20 years. If kids can't read by third grade, they fall behind in school and many never catch up. But other states have provided a roadmap for success. Missouri needs one universal reading test for all third graders and one clear statewide standard for what it means to pass that test. A struggling reader who still can't read after extra help and a second chance at the test should repeat third grade with some exemptions. We also need to end the outdated 3Qing method, which encourages guessing instead of reading, and require teachers to be trained in the science of reading. In Mississippi and Indiana, test scores jumped up dramatically after these reforms, and Missouri can do the same. Missouri children deserve to become confident, capable readers, and strong early literacy reforms can make it happen. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by the Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
More targets in the Middle East. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Iran says it will begin targeting banks and other financial institutions throughout the region.
Which certainly puts Dubai, a financial capital, in Iran's crosshairs. Now, Emirati air defenses were active earlier offshore, shooting down numerous Iranian drones and missiles. And in neighboring Oman, 3 oil storage tanks were set on fire in the city of Salah, a major port located very close to Yemen, so the Houthis can't be ruled out as being suspects.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai, where the international airport was hit by Iranian drones for the second time since Saturday, injuring 4 people. Earlier today, Iran also hitting 3 cargo ships in and around the Strait of Hormuz, where the U.S. military is preparing for the possibility of escorting ships if necessary. President Trump says Iran has lost its Navy and Air Force.
They have no anti-aircraft apparatus at all. They have no radar. Their leaders are gone, and we could do a lot worse.
Speaking to reporters before turning attention to his domestic economic agenda with stops in Ohio and Kentucky. Iran appears to be pulling out of soccer's World Cup, which will be hosted by the U.S., Canada, and Mexico this summer.
Iran Sports Minister Ahmad Danyamali says the team cannot take part in the World Cup in North America because of the United States military operation. He says the players would not be safe, and that if any other country did even 1,000th of what they did, the international community would take the hosting rights away. The statement on Iran State TV comes hours after the president of soccer's international governing body, FIFA, Gianni Infantino, said that he'd been assured by President Trump the Iranian team would be allowed to enter the U.S.
Fox's Chris Foster. The new U.S. ambassador to South Africa has just been summoned after publicly criticizing the South African government over diplomatic ties with Iran and affirmative action laws. America is listening to Fox News.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest cold front moving out, the rain and thunderstorms shutting down as we go through the afternoon, but it's windy and it is colder with the northwest flow behind that front. We'll drop down to 48 degrees by sunset, so around 7 o'clock. Tonight, clouds control. It's cold, it's windy, only 33 for the low, feels colder. On Thursday, sunny and chilly, 56, 63 on Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Much ado has been made about the SAVE Act. You've heard us talking about it. Everybody on Capitol Hill is talking about it. The President of the United States has said that that will be the thing that he will be signing first and only. So he wants the Senate to get going. Here's Dick Durbin.
The SAVE Act is expected to be brought to the floor for a vote this week. What are your thoughts on that? Are you going to support the SAVE Act?
Not at all. It's a terrible idea. This notion that we want to put more obstacles in the paths of voters is just what Donald Trump wants. Fewer people voting. I want every legal citizen in America to be able to vote without obstacles.
Do you think requiring an ID to vote in elections is making it harder? I mean,
it's more than that. It's more than an ID. It's proof that you were born in America. So what are we talking about, a passport or a birth certificate? Got one of those handy with you in your purse? I doubt it.
Well, if you're going to the voting poll and you know what you need to bring, I mean, it's just one of those documents, right?
Well, just one of those documents. Think about securing your birth certificate before you go in to vote. You know, why are we creating these obstacles? So we have the lowest incidence of fraud and misuse of voting in the world, and Donald Trump wants to put more obstacles in path of voters. I want everybody legally entitled to vote to have that option without complications.
So there you have my Senator Dick Durbin, retiring senator, I might add, talking about how we don't have any fraud problems, so there's really nothing to solve here, and how burdensome would it be to have to get your birth certificate before you vote every time. Folks, that's not even how the SAVE Act, the Save America Act, is propositioned. You wouldn't need it every single time. These are just silly excuses. And he doesn't even agree on the premise, which is that we have elections that need to be protected. He says they're fine. Let's talk to Deroy Murdock about it, nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, and Fox News contributor. Deroy, welcome back. Good to have you with us.
Great to be with you again, Annie.
Senator Dick Durbin, as I said, my senator, outgoing senator, says there's really nothing to see here. There's nothing to fix here, and it's just a burdensome, obstacle-driven way to keep people from voting in our elections. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I didn't recognize the voice. He sounds really tired, so it's probably a good thing that he's leaving.
I think it's a good thing. Yeah,
off he goes. But as for the substance of his comments, the idea here is not to throw obstacles in the way of people who want to vote. It's not putting obstacles in the way of people who want to cheat. That's the whole idea here, and we want to make it as difficult for people who either want to cheat by claiming to be people they're not, or showing up as American citizens and saying, I want to vote, even though they're either illegal aliens who broke into the country, or maybe they arrived here with visas but they overstayed them, or maybe they came in legally but they're not yet citizens, they've not yet been naturalized, and they want to jump ahead and vote even though they're not been naturalized to do so. Some of these people are malicious. Some of them know what they're doing and know that they shouldn't be doing it. Other people may have come across in that giant wave of 8 million or so under Joe Biden, and they got free health care, they got free hotel rooms in Times Square, their kids are getting free education, everything they want to get for free, and so they figure, hey, the Democrats are nice to me, I want to go express my thanks, so this person says, hey, here's a ballot, just fill it out, okay, that sounds good to me, and, they may not actually be malicious, they may be acting, unwittingly, but still, that's not something they're supposed to do, and what the Save America Act is designed to do is to make sure that everybody who votes in our elections is shock, horror, sit down before I say this, an American citizen. And then when you go to the polls, we ask to see your photo ID, so we make sure that you are, in fact, Sally Jones and not Barbara Smith or Maria Gomez or whoever else you might claim to be. I don't think it's asking too much, and especially since when you go to the airport and you want to get on a plane, they want to make sure that the name on the plane ticket matches the name on your ID card. So this is not some crazy, radical, extreme idea that Donald J. Trump and Stephen Miller cooked up while they were, chatting with their friends in the KKK, which is what people like Dick Durbin and Chuck Schumer would like you to believe.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer's Jim Crow 2.0, his repeated chant of saying that this is some sort of racial discrimination. This is radio. We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. Maybe people don't know that you're a black man. I'm wondering what the people who say that they champion the minorities, the Democrats, it often feels from where I sit that they are always keeping them at bay. That they're the ones who are really working to keep them segregated because it's almost as if they want to appropriate them. What do you feel like as a black man when you hear Chuck Schumer? He's really out there advocating for you, Deroy. As a black man, Chuck Schumer wants to protect you.
Yeah, he wants to protect me because there's no way I can get to the DMV and get a driver's license or get an ID card or something like that. We've got about 31 million black people approximately who are drivers. I guess they're all driving illegally. None of them bother to get a driver's license because they can't do so. This is the most racist and condescending thing we hear on a regular basis in this country, which is if you're black or you're brown, you're some kind of minority voter of color, it's just impossible to get an ID card. You're just no way to do it because we're just too confused or disorganized or, we're just not focused or serious enough. And yet, every time I go to the airport, they ask me to show my ID card and say, "Oh, you're black. We understand you can't get an ID card. Just hop on the plane. It's cool." It hasn't happened once, not one time. I'll tell you, not even one time. And every time I go to the airport, okay, sir, show us your ID card. It happens all the time. And I've never seen any black or brown person told, "Okay, just step aside, just go right through. You're cool." It doesn't happen. And this is true at government agencies. I went to the doctor just yesterday. I had to give a blood sample. They asked for an ID card. In fact, I asked the nurse. I said, "What happens if people don't have ID?" She said, "Oh, we send them home." We said, "Oh, we can't go any further.
Really?
You got to show an ID." And because let's say, for example, that you they want to determine whether or not you've got some disease or another. Let's say for insurance purposes, you want to show that you don't. So you send in somebody who's test negative for whatever. The blood test negative, you're in fact positive for cancer or whatever it might be, and say insurance, "Oh, see, I don't have cancer, so lower my rates." In fact, that's the blood of somebody other than yourself. So for that reason, they want to make sure that you are the right person, and also not even for anything that nefarious. I just want to make sure that you get the drugs that are supposed to go to you, not to somebody else, and you don't have an adverse reaction. So you go to the doctor like I did yesterday, and they ask for an ID card. No big deal, no big controversy, nobody scream racism. It's what they do all the time. And yet somehow when you go vote, oh, that's racist, it's bigoted, it's Jim Crow, it's just like living through the segregation of Alabama and Mississippi back in the 1950s all over again, which is, of course, deeply, deeply insulting to the American citizens, some of whom are still alive today who had to sit in the backs of buses and drink from broken water fountains, which were for coloreds only, sit at waiting rooms that were just for black folks, sit up in the balcony with the black folks, not down in the orchestra section in theaters. So that's where the white folks were. That's what Jim Crow's like. Jim Crow's not saying, please show us your photo ID so we can make sure that you're the right person who's actually registered on the voter rolls.
Deroy Murdock speaking with us right now. As soon as I hear the Democrats, out the gate, they're like, racism. I know that they don't have a policy argument to make towards the American people that they think is going to win over the majority opinion. Racism is their go-to, and I guess for quite some time it's worked for them pretty well, probably since about, 2008 or so, that they've been able to push racism out as the be-all, end-all of we're going to win this argument from a politics standpoint instead of a policy standpoint. I'm wondering if you think that voters of all walks of life and all races have started to wake up to the Democrats' games.
I think they have, and I think that's why, especially this voter ID argument just doesn't fly anymore. There's a 2025 Pew Research poll, which I mentioned in my article, Ignore Democrat Lies, Birth Certificates Are Easy to Attain. This is in the Daily Signal. We published this yesterday. It's online right now. And I cite a survey which was done by Pew Research and mentioned very prominently by Harry Enten on CNN very recently. And it found that do you favor photo ID to vote? And the numbers were 76% yes for blacks, 82% Latino, and 85% of whites. So this is something that enjoys almost universal support. I mean, we're not very bipartisan about many things in this country. We're pretty much split down the middle on almost everything. But when it comes to voter ID, this is something that even a huge number. I think it's about 50. I think 71% of Democrats, I think is the number, are in favor of photo ID. So what the Democrats do is talk less about voter ID. Now they say, "Oh, you can't find your birth certificate. It's impossible. Where's your birth certificate?" I mentioned this article that it's very easy to get your birth certificate. There's a website called Vital Check, VITALCHEK, Vital Check, and you go on there and you can order your birth certificate online, pay with a credit card. It will be delivered to your door. Now, there are 5 states that do not participate in this: Hawaii, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and Wyoming. But you can go on those individual state websites and order your birth certificate there if you happen to be born in any of those 5 states. The other 45 states, you can go to Vital Check, and there are other websites, but this one is the one that's both least expensive and also most sort of officially endorsed by the most states. And if you want your birth certificate, go online, order it. It'll be sent to you. No big deal. You don't have to go dig through your mom's basement or go dig through your grandma's attic or whatever it is. And you can have your birth certificate. And then if you need it to register to vote, boom, you got it. Now, you don't need a birth certificate if you're already registered to vote. Unlike what Dick Durbin said, it's not like you have to take your birth certificate to the polls, this November in the midterms. But if you're a new voter, you need to register. If the SAVE Act passes, which I hope it does, Save America Act, then you will need a birth certificate. But as I say, it's much easier to get than what the Democrats would have you believe. You can do it online from the comfort of your home without even having to leave where you live. It's that easy, despite what the Democrats say.
Yeah, I just can't get over how cumbersome the Democrats are willing to admit that government can be when they get involved. Like a simple thing like the document of your birth. They're saying it's way too difficult. This is government. Like that is government in action for a very simple thing. And yet they want to take and regulate every godforsaken thing that they can get their grubby hands on and charge the American people for it so that it's funded by them. I mean, it just to me is like they can't have their cake and eat it too. They've been able to because the media has allowed them to for so long that they don't feel like they have to have those reasons outside of just racism. And then they move on from there.
That's true.
I do wonder, when it comes to the Save America Act, John Thune, the majority leader in the Senate, has said that there are, I think you said 4 votes or so, of people who are not willing to participate in forcing the standing filibuster. I am curious if it's possible, if you think that they should try to vote on the things in the Save America Act individually and potentially get the voter ID through. There are other things that are absolutely necessary with the Save America Act. Do you feel like the strength is with the compilation of what's there, or should they consider separating it to get it through?
Interesting. Well, I think they ought to try pushing through the entire act as it is, which has already been passed by the House. So you have the advantage if it passes and go right to President Trump's desk without having to go back to the House and go through that hurdle all over again. I do think the standing filibuster is a way to do this. Thune says, I guess we just don't have the votes. Well, excuse me, your job is to get those votes, okay? Yeah. You need to sit down with those 4 or 5 Republicans, I almost said Democrats, they're sort of part of the Uniparty, and talk to them and hold their hands, make them feel better, threaten them if necessary. You do what leadership does. You can imagine if Nancy Pelosi were Senate Majority Leader, she would say, we don't have the votes. She'd get the votes. That's her job. And she did in the House. I mean, you can agree or disagree with what Nancy Pelosi did, but when they needed a vote, she either I asked people who worked on the Hill, did she use charm or fear or anger or sweetness? It was a combination. So some people wanted to be dealt with nicely. Some people need to be smacked around, but she did what she did and needed to do to get the votes to get things to pass the House. She did a very good job of that. It's John Thune's job to do that. He maybe needs to be delightful, sweet, and charming with others. Maybe he needs to be firm and direct with others, but he needs to get those people on board and tell them, what is the problem? Why are you fighting this? The whole idea here is to have free and fair elections, and when we have free and fair elections, Republicans have an easier time to win because they're not facing all of these different fraud schemes that are advanced by the Democrats, like ballot harvesting, like mass mail-in ballots, like drop boxes, all these other things Democrats have cooked up, which make it easy for them to win elections. So if the Republicans, even these 4 or 5 weaklings, want to stay in charge, want to remain as committee chairman and subcommittee chairman and not be in the minority and get yelled at by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats. Maybe they ought to cooperate and make it easier for us, for the Republicans, to actually win elections. And even if we lose, we can say, hey, we lost fair and square, rather than, hey, they stole it from us. Yeah. So John Thune has to do his job. He needs to sit down with these people, explain to them that this is good for the country, good for the party. As I say, 71% of Democrats are for photo ID, 72% of black people, 85% of white people. This is an extremely popular bill. The American people are screaming for it. I don't know what the problem is. This isn't like this is a 50-50 issue. Gee, we're not sure we can get this through because it's so controversial and the country's divided. The country's not divided. This is one of the few things in which Americans, left, middle, and right, agree, and it's already passed the House. The Senate, which is controlled by Republicans, has it next. And what are the Republicans doing rather than passing? It's like, oh, I don't know, we're tired. We want to go home. We just want to go to lunch. Why are you making us work?
Do the work.
Do your jobs, people. This is why you were elected. If you're not ready to do that, then you need to do what Dick Durbin is doing and go retire and go, play with your grandkids or go fishing or, go build a log cabin out in the woods or something else. But right now, they need to pass the Save America Act, get that on President Trump's desk, and finally have clean elections, fair elections. If we win, we win. But even if we lose, we all need to be able to say as Americans, you know what? We lost the election, but at least that was fair and square. Because the more we have elections, we think that was stolen, that was rigged, that just completely corrodes the idea of democratic elections in a constitutional republic of ours. And that's not good for anybody.
Deroy Murdock, on point as always. Thanks for being with us again this afternoon.
You bet.
Take care.
Good to talk to you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Nationally syndicated columnist, Project 21 ambassador, and Fox News contributor, our friend Deroy Murdock. We're going to take a quick break here. At 1:30, we're going to speak with Abigail Jackson. She is the White House Deputy Press Secretary, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the SAVE Act and this administration's efforts and pressure to get the job done. Of course, you heard there, John Thune needs to do his job. That's what we're hearing Deroy say, but that's also what we've heard President Trump say. Can they get it done? The big, beautiful bill people didn't think could happen, and it was signed on time by the President of the United States. Can we get the SAVE Act through? Boy, would that change the game. We'll take a quick break. Don't go away. The Retirement Advisory Group. You find them online at retirementkey.com. Your key to a worry-free retirement is a phone call away. 314-993-9494. Call 314-993-9494 and lock into that worry-free retirement plan. It starts with that phone call. You sit down and talk with Tammy Kershaw, with Bob Kershaw, Thomas Helbig. These folks know what to do in your time of life. I'm talking to you folks that are right there in the bubble. You're ready to retire. Maybe mentally you've been ready for a while, but you think you might be in that window. You got to make some smart moves, and you got to not miss the opportunity to make them. So you lock in with the Retirement Advisory Group with that first initial call and appointment. You're going to sit down. They're going to listen to you. You're going to listen to them, and then you're going to decide what to do from there. But that first initial meeting doesn't cost you anything. You can walk away with zero obligation. 314-993-9494. Call 314-993-9494. Tell the Kershaws, tell Thomas Helbig Annie sent you. They love hearing that. You can find them online at retirementkey.com.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com. If you can sense spring in the air, you're not alone. It's a perfect time to get Corel Roofing Company to come over and give you a free roofing inspection. Mark Cox here. You know, my friend Curtis has been at this a long time. Here's what he can do. If your insurance company has denied coverage for your roof, call Curtis. He specializes in working with insurance companies. You can get a second assessment from them, and often they're able to work with that insurance adjuster to find a way to get it covered. They are honest. They're going to give you a true evaluation of what's going on. Curtis is not going to overcommit on your roofing job. A lot of other companies do this. Curtis feels like quality suffers and customer service drops off. It's important to pay attention to details. Quality materials, quality workmanship. It's certainly what I got when Corel Roofing put a brand new roof on my house. Call 314-222-9529 right now. Tell them Mark Cox told you to call, or go to CorelRoofingCo.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I said this off air, but I'm going to say it right now. I feel like all these songs are love songs to Ivermectin.
It seems like
Is
a
that what
stretch with
Rihanna's
some of them.
talking about?
I don't know. I'll text her.
It's going to be me and you tonight, Ivy. Why am I talking about ivermectin? Have you ever taken ivermectin? That's the poll for today. Might feel like it's a little out of the blue. I've been holding this question in my pocket for quite some time. And I've been waiting for just a moment like this, when it's really not in the news at all, because I want to know your opinion. I want to know your thoughts on it, your experience of it, whether you think it's like, if you think it's like voodoo crazy stuff that only red hatters wear or use. I don't know. You could wear it. Like I said, I don't know anything.
Do you wear ivermectin?
You could. It's paste.
Never tried it.
So you go in and you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AnnieFry, and vote in the poll. We got a live broadcast there, and we've got the poll is in the live chat, a live broadcast. Have you ever taken ivermectin? Yes, no, but I would, no, or need more information on it. Predictions on what is going to win and lose in this poll. Brad?
Predictions on what's going to win and lose? I think what's going to win is going to be...
Science.
Yeah, science.
Well, science is going to win regardless.
Obviously. Not the science, but science.
And data gathering.
Yeah.
Generally will
Yeah.
win.
My data point would be no, but I would, I think, is what's going to win. And I think what's going to lose is just no.
I agree. I was going to say I think no, but I would will
That
probably
seems like a
win
cop-out. I
this
think you
poll.
just
I'm
don't want
afraid
to
of
be.
Brad.
Well, he's threatening to you all the time.
Yeah, when he got done saying that, he waved his fist at me. He went, like, get off my lawn. I'm like, dude, okay,
Like
fine.
90-year-old Clint Eastwood.
All right.
And you're like, I believe you.
I agree with you on ivermectin, man. He's up. No, but I would is I think going to take first place in this. And then have you ever taken it? I'm actually going to say yes is going to lose this poll.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm looking at the results, so I can't weigh in.
Okay.
Your response, Ryan Wiggins, to this poll. Have you ever taken ivermectin?
No, but I would.
No, but you would.
That's why I think it's going to win, because everybody's like me.
You said off the air, I wonder if this does anything for CF.
I did. Well, I genuinely do.
Worth a shot.
If you've listened for quite some time, you know that Ryan Wiggins has cystic fibrosis, and it's never come up?
No. I'll tell you what, the advice I got as a person with CF was you do every single thing that the man tells you to do.
Really?
From everybody.
Yeah.
Doctors, people in my life, they were all worried about me.
Well, it's a
which is fine.
respiratory. You
Yeah.
have a respiratory condition
Yeah.
and it's an autoimmune disease, right? It weakens your immune system.
I guess so.
Well, you're on antibiotics more
lot.
regularly than.
Yeah.
So what we were being told, I remember specifically standing in this very place, you standing there, and Katie was standing over there, and I'm like, Ryan, I think you should take this seriously, and you're like, oh no, it's nothing, and I'm like, it affects people's lungs.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
you were like, well, really?
Well, I see.
Yeah.
Early in COVID, like it would have been this very week,
Yes.
probably,
Yeah.
of 2020. I had so many people, including you, telling me, Ryan, take it seriously.
Please.
Just at least go through the process to be safe. And this is, of course, we don't know anything at this point.
We still don't know
So
much.
we know a lot more than we
6
did.
years later.
But I remember walking into Big Lots, and one of my favorite stores. And
can you please not tangent?
I was looking in the clearance section.
Stay on the point.
Thinking maybe they had some Christmas stuff. It was this time of year. Anyway,
Off we go.
I wore a mask into the store because everybody was telling me, you have to be more careful than everybody else.
The reason why everybody was told to do this was to protect people like you.
Yeah, I was among the most susceptible, supposedly. And so I wore a mask into the store, and I guarantee you every single person in that store was eyeballing me because nobody was doing it yet.
Well, and everybody thought you were a sickie.
They thought I was sick, and I wasn't. And so I thought, that's the last
You
time I
probably
remember
were
going to do
coughing.
that. I don't know if I was even coughing. If I was, it was just a little bit like
Throat
I usually
clearing.
do. Yeah. And so I didn't, that was the one time I did it. And after that, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Do you go back into that Big Lots, or are you like...
It's closed. So no.
It's because you quit going.
Yeah.
You were single-handedly keeping Big Lots in business.
Yeah, they had, man, when you check those expired chips, oh, you could get some deals, man.
Man, we're going to take a quick break. We'll get Brad's thoughts on it after we talk to Abigail Jackson, White House Deputy Press Secretary, next. Don't go away. Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie is your guy. When it comes to improving your mortgage position, you want a mortgage from Stewart's American Mortgage. He's got a bagel loan. He likes bagels. He's from New York, but bagels look like zeros, and that's to remind you that a bagel loan mortgage comes with $0 in closing costs. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and talk to him about your current mortgage situation. Mortgage rates have been coming down, which is amazing. A part of the strong economy. Those mortgage rates are now lower. They're becoming more affordable. You might be in the market for a mortgage refinance. When you use Stewart's American Mortgage, he takes care of all of the closing costs for you. You don't have to pay anything. So this is an absolute no-brainer. Maybe you keep your payment the same and you lower the term, the length of your loan. Whatever your situation you're possibly going to be in, when you call Stewie, you can say, here's where I am, and he'll tell you your options of how to improve your position. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
From Fenton to Fairview, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are glad that you are here with us on a very blustery, wet, rainy day here in St. Louis. We are excited to talk to the White House next. Let's get our guest on, Abigail Jackson, White House Deputy Press Secretary, on with us to discuss a little bit about the SAVE Act. Abigail, thanks for giving us some of your time this afternoon. We're grateful for it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Looking forward to our conversation.
100%. Let's talk a little bit about the Save America Act. Of course, Eric Schmidt, our senator here in the state of Missouri, and I think one of the best senators, just a little partial. I'm wondering what you think about the likelihood. We hear from the majority leader, Senator Thune, that there aren't the votes to get this standing filibuster invoked, to get the Save America Act passed. We know that the White House has prioritized it. The president has said he wants that to be the next thing he signs. Is it going to get done?
Well, the president actually just talked about this a few minutes ago when he was headed out to Marine One to visit some states across the country today. And he said that it needs to get done because it is one of the most popular pieces of legislation that Congress has had the opportunity to vote on. And when I say popular, I want to be clear, I mean amongst the American people. These provisions, things like voter ID, proof of citizenship to register to vote, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel, these are common sense policies that are supported by the vast, vast majority of Americans. We're looking at 80, 90%, and that includes Democrat voters. The only people who are opposed to this legislation are Democrat politicians.
We're speaking with Abigail Jackson, White House Deputy Press Secretary. You're talking about how popular, nothing is 80% popular, except for, I guess, pretty much the entire America First platform seems to be very, very encouraged by the American people. We have 53 Republican senators right now. We have the majority. How is it that 53 Republican senators can't get behind what 80% of this country actually agrees upon? It's such a rarity to see something so strongly supported. What's their excuse, and how are we going to get past it?
That's a great point, and you're exactly right. And I think this is why the president has really taken up such a strong effort on his part to talk about this legislation. If you've been paying attention over the last couple weeks, as I'm sure you and all your listeners have, the president talks about the Save America Act at every opportunity he gets because he believes it is just that important. And he has made promises to the American people to get these policies implemented, and he will not stop. He will not rest until he helps get this across the finish line. And of course, Congress absolutely needs to play a role in this. And that's why the president has been so keen on telling Congress, you know, even in the public, he's called out Congress and told them to get this done.
Amen. We were speaking with Abigail Jackson, White House Deputy Press Secretary. Now, we played a clip, had a guest on a little bit earlier in the hours talking about the Save America Act. We played a clip with Senator Dick Durbin. I live across the river in the state of Illinois, and Dick Durbin, a retiring senator there from our state, he basically said in this walking interview with the reporter, he's like, you know, our elections are secure. So you got a Democrat senator there that's likely going to vote, obviously, against the Save America Act. He doesn't even agree with the premise that we have insecure, unsecure elections. What does the White House say to that?
Well, I would say that these Democrat senators who want to vote against this legislation should go talk to their constituents, including their Democrat constituents who sent them where they are, who overwhelmingly agree with the president's policies and want this passed. This is just common sense measures. You need an ID to do everything in this country, whether it's driving, whether it's something as simple as going to your local library. And what the president has said is that we should absolutely treat American elections and one of the most important roles that we have as citizens with the utmost safety and security. There has been countless reporting from across the country of instances and examples of finding individuals who were illegally registered to vote, who had illegally voted. And so for Democrats to just pretend this is not a problem is not only out of touch with their Democrat voters, it's not only out of touch with Americans, but it's just frankly out of touch with reality.
Abigail Jackson speaking with us, White House Deputy Press Secretary. Should the Senate engage in this standing filibuster, the old-fashioned pre-1970s way of making the senators work to oppose something that the majority opposes? It could bring things to a screeching halt. I don't know what the senators, what kind of stamina they have in them in order to make this last for however long it lasts. There could be other things that don't get done because the Republicans in the Senate have pushed the standing filibuster. Does the White House, does the president feel that putting everything else behind this is the right move?
Well, President Trump has made it very clear that this legislation is country-saving legislation. That's why it's aptly named the Save America Act. And he believes that this is more important than anything else we could be doing because it has such dire implications for our country. Without secure elections, without confidence in our elections, really there's nothing else that could be more critical than that. And so I think as you hear the president talk about this, you hear him talk about the importance of it. That is reflected. And, you know, Congress should also heed that urgency.
What do you want from our listeners right now? We're here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're talking to people in the blue state of Illinois. We're talking to people in the red state of Missouri. But we've got a very diverse political landscape right here. A lot of people who are part of that 80%, regardless of the red or the blue of it. What can they do to influence action on this particular measure?
You know, I think people should stay engaged, stay active, keep talking to their friends, their family, their neighbors, their lawmakers, and making their opinions heard. There is nothing more American than that, and this legislation is really helps secure and will help ensure that Americans' right to vote and to express their opinions at the ballot box is protected. And so really that's what they should be continuing to do.
Well, we appreciate your time, Abigail Jackson. We look forward to having you and your White House colleagues back on the show to give us the upfront administration perspective. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day.
You as well. Take care. Abigail Jackson, White House Deputy Press Secretary, on X at ATJackson47. Good to speak with her here on the show. I mean, it's crystal clear the White House has made this a priority. They're not waffling on it. It's not like, okay, we need to get this done and that done. The Save America Act is something that has become a priority, not just for 80% of American voters and citizens, but also the Republicans widely supported in Congress. Now it needs to get done. And if you've got four people, I'm guessing that you've got Murkowski, you've got Collins, you've got McConnell, maybe Tillis or someone like that are holding out. What has to get done in order to make this doable? Also, how do they not flub getting into the standing filibuster and not being able to execute the needed quorum that would be required in order for the Republicans to uphold? They got to show up. They've got to be there. They've got to provide the quorum to make sure that the Democrats are going to be held accountable, that they have to be there to continue the filibuster. The Republicans have to have resolve. And it's frustrating. I was listening to a Glenn Beck clip last night where he says that he believes that the reason why Republicans are not doing this in the Senate, he said maybe it's because they don't have the votes, but he goes, I really think it's just because it's too much work. He really thinks that the Republicans in the Senate are just being lazy. Now, I would encourage you to contact your senators. Yes, contact Dick Durbin. Yes, contact Tammy Duckworth. Yes, contact Schmidt. He's very much for it, certainly. Yes, contact Josh Hawley. If you're listening to us outside of the bi-state region, reach out to your senators and make sure that you are heard on the issue, to continue to pressure them into not giving up on it, because it's not just a matter of getting the votes. Be a nuisance to those people who wanted to represent you in your federal government. Their job is to listen to you and to act accordingly to the body of constituents. You are included in that. But also make sure that your senators, if you know that they support it, make sure that they understand that you still really, really care about this. If they bring government to a screeching halt because they force a standing filibuster, that you support that action. You need to be heard on it. You need to be a part of the system. So reach out and contact your representatives, your senators today. Be a part of a solution. Let's take a break. YouTube poll. Have you ever taken ivermectin? Yes. No, but you would. No. Or you need more information on it. We'll talk more about that throughout the course of the show. Lots of feedback coming in. If you want to react to this, send us a text message to 314-241-9797, the Annie Fry Show text line, 314-241-9797. Why haven't you saved that in your phone yet? Do it right now. We'll be right back. PointPestControl.com, point with an E, PointPestControl.com. If you've got a pest situation, if you're finally ready to get on that quarterly treatment service, that's what I pay for, premium service. You get a premier service plan. They treat your home inside and outside every quarter. Sometimes at our house, they just treat the outside. We don't have pests. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than I hired Point Pest Control to get rid of a spider problem in my house a few Novembers ago. We don't have spiders. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Point Pest Control. It's pretty much that simple. If you're trying to get rid of pests in your home right now as the wet months come in, the warming up months come in, that's when the spiders and the rodents come in. Gross. Get rid of them at 636-798-0023. Let me make a suggestion. Spring is coming up. You wrap up a Point Pest Control subscription, premier service plan subscription in a little, just make a note and give it to your wife for spring, and she will be so grateful for it. You're going to give her the gift of no bugs. I mean, this is so romantic. 636-798-0023. If she's confused, tell her it wasn't my idea. Just say, Annie said this was a good idea. 636-798-0023. Point with an E, PointPestControl.com.
Hey, there's still time to join us for a fish fry. So if you haven't yet, we'll be at St. Mary Magdalene Church in Brentwood this week. If that's your area, stop by and say hi. It's the Mark Reardon Show's Fish Fry Fridays, continuing this week in Brentwood, sponsored by Apache Village RV.
I'm Ted Dabrowski. I'm running for governor to breathe new life into our party and improve the quality of life in our state. Let's be honest about how we defeat Pritzker. Victory runs through the suburbs, and Darren Bailey is a disaster in the suburbs. To renominate him is to concede defeat. It's why Pritzker wanted to run against him 4 years ago and wants to again. Do you really want to experience these headlines again?
Governor J.B. Pritzker will serve another 4 years in office.
This was a resounding victory for Governor Pritzker.
The race was called just minutes after the polls closed.
Pritzker had a sizable advantage in Chicago and its suburbs.
I am the only candidate who can win the suburbs and end Pritzker's reign. It's why leading pro-lifers, American firsters, and conservative reformers support me. Republicans should always nominate the most conservative candidate who can win. That's me. I'm Ted Dabrowski, your conservative candidate for governor, and I'm asking for your vote in the Republican primary on March 17th. Paid for by Ted for Illinois. If you live in Missouri, have Medicaid, and need a caregiver, this message is important. Care at home is personal. That's why you may not want a stranger in your home to take care of you. You want someone who already knows you and your daily routines. With Freedom Care, you choose a trusted family member, a friend, or a neighbor. They will get paid after every shift to care for you, and it's 100% free to you. More than 70,000 people have already joined the Freedom Care family. Call your local Freedom Care. They'll check your Medicaid eligibility. Don't wait until a stranger shows up at your door. If you have Medicaid and need help at home, this care is available 100% free to you. Call Freedom Care now to see if you qualify. 314-343-1362. 314-343-1362. That's 314-343-1362.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
We want to know what you think about ivermectin today. That's the subject of the YouTube live chat poll. So weigh in and let us know about that hot topic. Although it's not really in the news. We just want to know. It's a topic we want to know about and your opinion about. And also a reminder that in the middle of the next hour, so just a little after 2:30 most likely, we will give you a chance to win tickets to see Jimmy Fallon on April 11th at the Factory. That's the new date after the snow out in January. April 11th, and 2 tickets are going to go to somebody today if you're the right number caller at a little after 2:30 when we tell you when to call. It is 1:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I know right now Ben Stiller is calling out the president, saying he doesn't want him to use his movie clips for war propaganda. I mean, it sounds like a lot of people are kind of, criticizing Trump, like Hollywood right now, over this war thing. Is that fair?
Yeah, because everybody in the world should listen what actors and comedians say, because they're so qualified. Basically, shut the up. Do your art and shut up.
So Gene Simmons is approached in a beautiful, probably Southern California, I don't know, sidewalk. And it's about Ben Stiller because apparently the Trump administration used some clips from Tropic Thunder into something, and he called it propaganda. TMZ says apparently some people in Southern California and Hollywood are against the war effort. And it's like, lady. The story here is that Gene Simmons isn't. You found one.
Right, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, let me talk to this guy.
You buried the lead, lady.
Nobody's interested in your opinions. That includes me. Who I vote for, who I like. Who the do you think you are? People in America work hard for their living and they don't want to be lectured to by people who live in mansions and drive Rolls Royces. It's time for everybody in the entertainment industry to shut their pie hole and just do your art. Nobody cares what you think.
So, I mean, I like that this is like circulating in the feeds that we run in here. It's like, oh, Gene Simmons. First of all, not shocking that Gene Simmons is saying this. He's just one of the people who accepted an award or an acknowledgement from the president. He was in the White House. He's famously been Christian, right? Outwardly Christian.
I don't know the answer to that. Have you heard that he's Christian?
I have not heard that.
I believe that he has shared messages of faith or an adherence to faith. I don't know that he's like a prophet, but he's been out there saying things that middle conservative America would align with. And you don't have to go too far if you're out of the Hollywood realm for people to be like, oh, that guy's MAGA. I don't know if Gene Simmons is MAGA. And I think the point that he's making right there is that we're not supposed to know that he's MAGA because that's not what he offers to the public. He gets to have opinions. He gets to be involved in the conversation in the areas that it matters. But because of his place in the public sphere, his thoughts on politics do not trump any other run-of-the-mill average Jane, average Joe. I wonder if I'm allowed to use the term average Joe in this conversation because Ben Stiller was in Dodgeball, and you know that the Globo Jim was in direct opposition to the average Joes.
Oh man.
I hope Ben Stiller sends us a cease and desist. That would be fantastic.
That would be great.
Hi, Ben.
You should do that, Mr. Stiller.
It's a bold strategy.
When TMZ's on the street talking to Gene Simmons and looking for Gene Simmons' reaction to, she says it like, a lot of Hollywood's not on your side. And I'm sure Gene Simmons is like,
He didn't know. He did not know that until Ben Stiller tweeted that.
Yeah. That's why Ben Stiller is an American patriot.
The other thing about
Ben Stiller was in a movie called Tropic Thunder where they did blackface. So why is it okay? I mean, I've A, never seen Tropic Thunder. B, don't have any opinion on that. But they have Tropic Thunder as a movie is if it's most famous for anything, it's Robert Downey Jr. in blackface.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never really backed down from that.
No, they've never issued any sort of apology or anything.
No.
Which I'm glad they haven't.
They did what they did, whatever. Like I said, I don't have an opinion on it. But if you made a movie that was like at all tinged with even a touch of right-wing conservatism and had a white guy ironically playing a blackface black man, I suspect there'd be a problem with that.
Yeah, there was a period in time in which Hollywood decided, you know what, blackface is okay because Jimmy Kimmel did it and multiple others. I think Howard Stern did it. Justin Trudeau did it. All these people who were very far left decided at one point,
Joy Behar.
Yeah, let's just do this for a little bit. And then they realize, oh, man, that stays forever. And it's their side that made all these issues. Like, they're the ones making everything so sensitive. So it's a very strange boomerang.
It's funny to me that, like, Gene Simmons, to Gene Simmons' point, that he's outside, what's this building say? Something lounge. Just minding his filthy rich life. Eating in fancy places, and it's like, somebody stop him. We need to know what he thinks about Ben Stiller. It's just a kind of all very meta. A lot of people here saying that he is of Jewish descent, so culturally Jewish. Some people saying he's an atheist. If he's not a Christian, I know that he's talked. There are clips of him talking probably in the same vein of like, mind your business and let people practice whatever. I don't know. But he's been very repeatedly, I don't know, kind of libertarian, outwardly libertarian, which is direct opposition to the loony left. But the good news is that TMZ is on it. Is there a celebrity that you would wait to see what their opinion is that would come out and would affect your thoughts?
Ooh, that would actually affect my opinion. I can't think of anybody that would do that.
Mike Rowe is somebody who I like to listen to, but I like to listen to him because he has very much so settled into a conversational place where what he generally talks about is the value of work. I mean, Dirty Jobs is really why most people know him in en masse, but he has made his public figure someone who is an advocate for blue-collar jobs, hard work, and having conversations to elevate that element. And it's also ironic to me that the concept of work lends itself to being right-wing.
Very true. Very sad.
I mean, he's not like it's not like he's Spider-Man on the weekends and liberal activist on Tuesday nights after a bottle of wine.
No, he's been super consistent. Does he even talk politics much at all?
The left would say he does.
But that's your point, is that he's not. But
he talks about life. He talks about people, and he advocates for something. I mean, Mike Rowe's a great example of a guy who's about policy and not politics. Mm-hmm. And the policy that he is in advocacy for, the right side of the aisle is the side that would accomplish what he's asking for. But I don't know that he's like a registered Republican.
Man, I'm trying to think of anybody in the entertainment world who I respect enough but don't know their politics, that if they came out, not generally like, oh, I'm a Republican now or I'm a Democrat now, but if they had an opinion about a specific topic, something probably economic or foreign policy, something in their wheelhouse, that like a business leader or something, a celebrity business leader. I just can't think of anybody.
Here's another one that I've got on today's list. Candace Cameron Bure, who is DJ Tanner and among many other things. I really love her. I am so grateful for her and what she has brought to the table, because she's somebody who is a strong Christian advocate first. And then her career is after that. She just told the story on her podcast. And it's pretty crazy. Listen to this.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing your embarrassing
I mean, what about you?
story.
I don't want to put you on the line with an embarrassing story, but like, have you seen that to be true of like when you hang around certain people, you're like, oh, they kind of pull out maybe the worst of me or the best of me?
Of course. I mean, listen, I have some really weird, embarrassing moments, although I shouldn't say embarrassing. For me, they were more shameful of going to places where I thought like, oh, this person's a friend and I'm going to be cool and do this. And I went to a party once with Val because we were married, and it ended up being this underground party that was an S&M like sex thing that was so dark and demonic. And we walked in and my eyeballs were popping out of my head because I saw stuff I've never seen before in my life. And I'm looking at Val going like, how are we here? What is happening? And the one person that invited us, but we made a hard U-turn and walked right out of there. And it just was like so slimy and weird. And I was like, we're going to pause before we ever say yes to going out with that friend again. We just had no idea what we were walking into. And it was so disgusting. And
what does that make you think?
I really would like to know what year that was, because she doesn't say at what point in her life or career that happened. But my guess is she's been an outspoken Christian for quite a while now. My guess is that this was earlier in her career, that somebody wouldn't have thought, oh, let's bring the Christian into the sex party.
One of the things that I was reading an article on this, and one of the other things that she talked about was like in her 20s. First of all, she was a child star. You know, She was one of the biggest stars. DJ Tanner, everybody knew who she was. TGIF. She talked about how like when child stars turn 18 or they get to be 20, like the industry comes after them because this is the time where you get to define yourself as an adult. And there's a few ways that you can do that. Most of them are sexual. And she said she had a very clear-eyed understanding of these scripts would come to me. They'd give me the opportunity to do this. And she's like, this is not something I would do, so I'm not going to do this script. And she was saying no over and over and over again. So, gosh, she's been principled about that at such a young age. It's an incredible thing to see that she was able to do that. And I kind of wonder, too, about her invitation to that party. Like, did the people who invited her know her principles and her values? Because she acts as though she got there and was stunned that this is what it was. Like, was it a kind of a bait and switch or
sounds like
something like that? Like, why would you think somebody that represents themselves the way that Candace Cameron Bure does, why would you think that she would want to be at a place like that? But I'm going to say it like everybody else is thinking it. When you look through the Epstein files and you know the conspiracies that exist around the Epstein files, there's some really, I'll use her phrase, dark and demonic things, conspiracies that are attached to it. There's a part of my brain that wants to refuse that stuff actually happens. But knowing, I trust her. I trust her account there. I don't think she has any reason to lie about that. You know, how dark and demonic are these types of things that are existing in our culture? Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Iran's president sends a message on Lisa Brady, Fox News. In a social media post, the Iranian president says the only way to end the conflict is to recognize Iran's legitimate rights, also demanding international guarantees against future aggression and payment of reparations. Meantime, an Israeli military spokesperson says they're prepared to continue fighting as long as necessary, and the White House has emphasized a continued commitment to the objectives, targeting Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs.
Reports indicate Israel is bracing for an uptick in Iranian fire tonight. Overnight, there were more missiles launched at this country, although fewer at a time, given the fact that the United States and Israeli planes continued to go after these launching positions inside of Iran.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Iran's retaliatory strikes hitting a wide variety of targets, including the international airport in Dubai for a second time, and a U.S. diplomatic site in Baghdad, as well as oil refineries. But President Trump highlighting heavy losses in Iran's Navy and Air Force and the U.S. bombing of multiple mine-laying vessels near the Strait of Hormuz.
President Trump added that the U.S. has no reports of the Iranians laying mines there yet. Iran has effectively closed traffic through the strait. It's a narrow conduit. A fifth of the world's oil goes through. Iran says it fully controls the strait, and any ship looking to sail through it needs its permission. In the meantime, the International Energy Agency says its member countries will release 400 million barrels of oil, a move the Interior Secretary says he supports.
Fox's Rich Edson, President Trump just telling reporters
prices are coming down very substantially. Oil will be coming down. That's just a matter of war.
The president's now in Ohio to visit a biotech firm and talk about lowering drug prices before he heads to Kentucky with a continued focus on his domestic economic agenda. America is listening to Fox News.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return, but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do? My refund, though. I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Ivermectin, subject of the day.
What's up, Ivermectin?
All those Ivermectin cronies out there just protesting the non-Ivermectin users in the rain.
So they're in the people outside the studio that you keep talking about and pointing to. They are in favor of Ivermectin, and they're protesting people who aren't?
They can be whatever we want them to be because I made the whole thing up.
I'm just making sure that I understand that.
It is raining outside, though, and there's a man in the park. We're asking you on the poll today, youtube.com/@AnnieFry, F-R-E-Y, have you ever taken Ivermectin? We're also opening up the text line. I don't know if you got any text right now, but if you haven't texted us yet and you have a thought on Ivermectin, we're asking this question right now because it's not really a big news story at this point in time, and we have all said in here that we are very curious about Ivermectin, but it's hard to know where to go to get information from people because you feel like everybody's got an agenda. You feel like if you talk to someone about it, it's kind of like I likened it in the first hour to people who do CrossFit. It's kind of like when we were talking about the legalization of weed. Where do you go to talk to someone about marijuana where they're not super for it or super against it? So we're asking you, we're crowdsourcing information here, reaction perspective, and your texts are going to be very helpful in digging into this. 314-241-9797, text Ryan and tell us your thoughts. The poll, which is at youtube.com/@AnnieFry, in the live chat of today's live broadcast, have you ever taken Ivermectin? Yes? No, but I would. No, or you need more information on it. Brad, what's your thoughts?
I have never taken ivermectin, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't if given the opportunity or for the right reason.
No, but I would?
Yeah, no, but I would is what I would vote. And it would really be based on what do I need it for. I don't know that I would as a prophylactic or take an ivermectin regime like some people do. But I wouldn't be opposed to it if I had some conditions that doctors said, hey, yeah, this would be good for that.
Did you figure out yet, Ryan, if it cures CF?
I did look it up, and it does not.
It doesn't.
I was like, hey.
What a revelation that would be at 2 o'clock on the end of
Am I missing this? And they're like, yeah, you're not missing anything. It doesn't do what you want.
We'll go to text if you have any here in a second. Scooter said, I would imagine very few in this audience have contracted one of the infections that ivermectin is most commonly prescribed for. Well, that's helpful. Joe says, what? Okay. These are not. Why are we? Okay. JC says, no, I have no idea what that is. There you go. It's kind of what we're trying to get to the bottom of. Colonel Ripper said ivermectin is considered a wonder drug because it cures horrible conditions caused by various parasites. That's definitely something that I've heard and read. Chris says ivermectin and chill.
No thanks, Chris.
Dirk said, yes, I've taken ivermectin. Dennis says, I take it twice a week. Jody said, ivermectin is in the news in Florida. They are trying to pass a bill to make it over-the-counter, human form. I believe other states are or have done the same. Farmer hates it. No profit for them. When you always got to ask yourself in this type of realm, like, you got to go straight to money. Who gets money? Who doesn't get money? If it's pushed, who gets helped by it? If it's pushed, who gets hurt by it? And I think that our Chris Cuomo clip that we played a little bit earlier in the show that was from a couple years ago on the Patrick Bet David podcast, he basically said it's really incredibly cheap and pharma hates it because of that. Do you have any text?
Yeah, this one says, I have never taken ivermectin. I'm unsure whether I would. I guess if I had COVID, I'd consider it, but I generally try to avoid all medications at this point if possible.
Because even when it comes to COVID, I don't even know what the application to COVID is. I know that it's connected in conversation.
Yeah, I don't know either
COVID.
Because that's a virus.
Is it like taking Tamiflu? Like as soon as you feel like, ooh, I kind of got some flu symptoms going on, you take a flu test and you're like, okay, I do have the flu. And you kind of know that early on. You got to get Tamiflu in early, and it doesn't cure the flu for you, but it mitigates a lot of the symptoms. You're going to be able to get through it a little bit easier.
This one says, I take it every month on a full moon.
Okay. And then you go, oh.
And have been for a long time. There seems to be no consensus as to how often you're supposed to take this drug.
Also, there's at minimum 10% chance that is what that person does.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's a joke.
I made it a joke.
Not a joke, Jack.
Not a joke.
This person says, hello, my name is Tom C.
I'm smarter than most of you.
I have used ivermectin for years, my animals and myself, both. Never took the jab, never caught COVID, was tested weekly at work, and never got it.
I have heard people talk about working with animals and taking it along with, because it is an anti-parasite medication that is given to animals, and that people who work with animals would take it because working with animals would expose them potentially to the parasites that would be around the animals.
We have gotten multiple texts today throughout the show from people who work around animals saying exactly that.
That?
Yep.
These are, these are things I've read. I know nothing.
This one says, yes, I have taken ivermectin with a doctor's prescription, but not for worms or COVID. I just drank tonic water during COVID. Okay. This one says, I've taken ivermectin for a virus, which is what I just mentioned. I believe it lessened symptoms and helped me recover quicker. Ask any functional medicine doctor. They've used it for years.
Oh, heck. Kilo P. Kilo says on YouTube, the full moon comment. The full moon was a real comment. Parasites supposedly more active around full moon.
All right.
Also, 10% that is a joke or real? I'm not sure.
The follow-up could also be a joke.
I'm struggling. We want to make a joke out of everything. I don't want to make a joke out of... I want to take... I just don't know. Wide open conversation.
I think so. A lot of people commenting. This one's person says ivermectin is a common livestock wormer. Mm-hmm. It is an anti-parasitic. It is used to treat pinworms in children. I'm sure there are other uses not sanctioned by the FDA.
Oh my gosh. Pinworms in children is the worst part ever about. Have you ever heard of pinworms?
Yeah, that's the name of the podcast this hour. Pinworms and children. I think.
In fact, it's not, and I will not come to work for the rest of the week if you name the podcast that.
I think that.
Look at me in my eyes. Don't do that. Don't put pinworms in any description of anything.
There's a lot of layers this has to go through. It's not just me.
No, there's one layer, and you're looking at her right here in my eyes.
Okay, I'll change it to be like
Ryan,
skin worms in Wildwin.
Ryan?
But so like we'll know, but nobody will know what that means.
Nobody's going to click on a podcast that has the word pinworms in it.
What about skin worms? Here's another suggestion.
Not only am I not coming in the rest of the week, I'm done today.
And I mean this. How about if the ivermectin pills that are made for people are shaped like little people? So you'd know.
You're trying so hard to change the subject because you feel uncomfortable.
No, I don't. I'm fine. I do what I want.
Oh, just 212.
212, huh?
Ethan, you got a big sports and local segment planned for us today?
He's shaking his head, yes.
Is he?
He is giving us a huge thumbs up. I can't see him, but I think
he's just shaking out that ginger hair.
Thumb, Ryan.
He's giving us some huge finger.
So none of us have taken it.
No.
Chances of Ethan having taken it? Not likely.
Well, if they were little human pills, then maybe.
I thought they were Flintstones vitamins.
See?
I don't know. Fred Flintstone would be into that.
Let's pull up another text, huh? It says,
I need a commitment from you that you're not going to put pinworms in the title of anything that we do.
I definitely won't.
Thank you. Period.
I definitely won't do that today. My wife and I, now both in our early 60s,
Sandlot,
refused the jab. Instead, we researched ivermectin after Trump first mentioned it very early, and then used it as our COVID prevention measure. The ivermectin we used was available at a local farm and fleet store. Other people, by the way, are mentioning not only that,
Real King,
but that they have to go to a particular doctor who agrees with the philosophy of it.
If you're that doctor and you're listening to the show, will you please message me on Facebook? I would like to have someone come in who will, or call us or Zoom interview with us, who can talk about this, knowing exactly what we're getting into. I don't want politics. I want a practicing medical professional who has patience that trusts you with their health. You know, this is something that post-COVID, I know a lot of people in my life who have doctors who, it's both sides of the issue too, who were maybe a little vaccine skeptical, and these people were vaccine strong. And they questioned the medical advice that their doctor was providing them. And same on the converse, people who were vaccine skeptical who had doctors who were super pushing it. I don't understand how anybody still goes to see doctors who they don't trust. Because when I go to the doctor, which I need to get, I have somebody who I would go to see, but I don't do regular checkups. I should. Nobody in our generation does that. You guys have you have doctors. You guys have teams.
I go to a doctor for regular checkups, but
you've got.
I got stuff.
I don't have stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of doctor's visits in having 4 children, 5 pregnancies that I fit in there, I'm like, I'm good for a while. Dumb advice. Stupid medical decision on my part. But I don't think people who are my age prioritize the annual checkup.
I was
going to say, maybe it's a cost thing. I don't know. But annual checkups are supposed to be covered by Barack Obama himself.
Yeah, they're wellness visits.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to say?
Whenever I go, they just basically have us toss a medicine ball back and forth. We go, hop, 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 hop. Hey, this guy.
What? Is that a referential to something?
Just like turn of the century medicine. They would wear super short shorts and just sort of like throw a medicine ball around.
You say these things, and I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm just thinking that 95% of culture has partaken in hup, 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 or whatever you just said there, and then I'm the idiot. But it turns out it's possible that you're the idiot,
oh, heck no.
and I never know who the idiot is.
Believe the prior, not the latter. This person says, first of all, love the show.
Thanks. Loved.
You used to love the show before this hour.
Changed my mind this hour.
Yes, I take ivermectin. My whole family does as well. I've seen it do wonders for my farm animals. So why wouldn't we take it? My cows didn't get COVID.
Is that just a farmer mentality?
I don't know.
Man, they're really loving that feed. Wonder
That's
what
what
that
I thought
tastes
too.
like.
I'm like, that logic doesn't really apply to everything, though. You're not eating what the pigs are eating.
Look at how those cows are
You
growing.
kind of are eating what the pigs are eating.
Well, down the line.
When you eat the pig.
Eventually. I don't know. Good pulled pork sandwich doesn't taste like slop. I can tell you that.
How do you know what slop tastes like?
Because I can see slop is gross looking. Dang it. Pinned in again. Just like a pig.
Let's go to break. There's nothing left here. There's nothing left here.
We have farmed that field.
Let's do what we do every day at 2:18 and ask Ethan to come save the state of the show. Ethan, sports and local next. Are we going to talk a little World Baseball Classic? Because I got a tear coming out of my eyes. I'm learning my Italian. What about you? Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
You're not alone. It's a perfect time to get Corel Roofing Company to come over and give you a free roofing inspection. Mark Cox here. You know, my friend Curtis has been at this a long time. Here's what he can do. If your insurance company has denied coverage for your roof, call Curtis. He specializes in working with insurance companies. You can get a second assessment from them, and often they're able to work with that insurance adjuster to find a way to get it covered. They are honest. They're going to give you a true evaluation of what's going on. Curtis is not going to overcommit on your roofing job. A lot of other companies do this. Curtis feels like quality suffers and customer service drops off. It's important to pay attention to details. Quality materials, quality workmanship. It's certainly what I got when Corel Roofing put a brand new roof on my house. Call 314-222-9529 right now. Tell them Mark Cox told you to call, or go to CorelRoofingCo.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
This season, step up to the ultimate game day experience with Cardinals all-inclusive tickets. Enjoy a full buffet, complimentary bar, and unbeatable views inside Busch Stadium. It's great food with great company for every pitch, hit, and home run. Choose your experience in the Budweiser 703 Club, UMB Champions Club, Proficient Red Jacket Club, and more. See the game like a VIP with all-inclusive tickets. On sale now at cardinals.com/tickets.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
The Annie Fry Show is St. Louis conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Ethan's Kung Fu News.
Strange.
What the hell does that even mean?
Ora
Don't say
siamo
hell.
tutti Italiani.
Bravo, Luciano.
We're all Italian now.
Yeah.
You gonna
Last
do it?
night sucked.
It almost didn't suck, though.
Yeah, I guess, for like maybe a very brief minute, but last night sucked. If you are wondering why last night sucked, there may have been a lot of reasons for you why last night sucked.
Let's talk specifically about one of the
Specifically,
reasons.
we're going to talk about...
Last night
if that was real, I'd say I'm sorry.
It's not.
No, I know.
Ryan also doesn't have a dog.
No, we had to put her down a long time ago.
That part's true.
Yeah.
Team USA thought going into last night's World Baseball Classic game, allegedly, that they had already clinched a spot in the quarterfinals.
Womp womp.
This is according to manager Mark DeRosa.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm saying allegedly, because he quite literally was quoted saying that.
We already punched our ticket.
Ooh.
And they, in fact, hadn't. Last night, going into the final pool play game, Team USA, 3-0, was facing off against Team Italy, who was 2-0 at the time. If Team USA would have won that game, they would have indeed punched their ticket. Because they lost 8-6. They have now put themselves in a very difficult spot.
Precarious?
Where they are, yeah, sure, Ryan, thank you.
Is that Italian?
Yeah.
Precarious.
That's a Greek god celebrated in Italy.
I'm feeling precarious.
That's probably racist.
Well, you know.
Yesterday was Mario Day. We didn't talk about it. Go on.
Okay. And that's why the Italians won. That is why.
Might be.
That is literally why.
It's a me, Mario.
It's a me, March 10th.
March 1. Oh.
And I'm trying. I'm really trying. So because Team USA lost, they dropped to 3-1 in pool play. Italy is now 3-0 in pool play, and the other team that is in the mix is Mexico. They are 2-1. So if you count things up, Italy and Mexico play tonight. If Mexico is to win, we're going to have 3 teams that are 3-1. Only 2 teams from each pool advance to the quarterfinals. So it comes down to a really random tiebreaker.
This is dumb.
The tiebreaker is number of total runs allowed divided by number of total outs recorded. Okay, so it's basically total total runs allowed,
which
basically.
Is not the same as run differential.
Very different, because this is specifically focusing on how many you're allowing, not how much you're beating teams by.
For the first half of the game, people are like, well, if we just score some runs.
Correct, which was not the case. You
Wrong.
had to win. You had to win in order to negate that. Team USA did not win, and because of that now, Mexico is in Team Italy and Mexico are in a good spot. If Italy wins, then I need to pull up the tiebreakers
USA
here.
is good.
If Italy wins, then USA is good because Mexico would be 2-2. They'd be in.
We'd have the second best record,
Correct.
not shared.
Correct. If Mexico wins, then it comes down to how many runs are scored in the game. It is basically, to sum it up, out of Team USA's hands right now. They are relying on the result of tonight's game. Why is this such a big deal, you ask? Well, Team USA, you could argue, put together, roster-wise, one of the best, most talented rosters in baseball history.
Who do you one up with 2 runners on in the bottom of the 9th with the game on the line? Like, of all of the people that exist in Major League Baseball.
Sammy Sosa.
Who do you want? Aaron Judge has got to be in the top 5.
Yeah, you certainly make a good argument for Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge came up in that spot, and he struck out. A lot of people are very upset because even though Mark DeRosa, the manager, said that he said in postgame he misspoke. He actually knew that they hadn't clinched, but his managing did not really back that with some of the decisions that he made. He did not start all of his best players.
Nope.
He started his starting pitcher was a rookie that's pitched like 50 innings in the majors. The guy that relieved him when they were down by multiple runs already at that point doesn't throw harder than 90 miles an hour anymore. He had Clayton Kershaw, who retired last season, warming up late in the game when they were in danger of allowing a mercy rule. What'd you say?
Did he just not know?
He says he didn't, but all of his managing tactics kind of back that he had no idea.
He said that you're saying that DeRosa did say he knew what was at stake.
He said in postgame, he's like, yeah, I misspoke when I said that earlier.
Yes.
He said he misspoke, and he said it was a miscalculation.
John Boy Media, he was on there, and that's where he said, we really still want to win this game, even though we've already punched our ticket to the quarterfinals. That's what he said before the game. And then in the postgame, I didn't hear the postgame part specifically, but he said that he misspoke and that he knew it was at stake, but he played his B team.
This is absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah,
if Team USA does not,
How
advance,
sick is Mark DeRosa's wife right now?
Reminds me of
Is
an
he
old
married?
story called The Tortoise and the Hare.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, Ryan.
Continue.
If they do not advance, there's no way that Mark DeRosa keeps this position.
He's never back
No
to that.
disrespect to DeRosa. I love him on MLB Network. I think he does a great job. Should have never had this role.
Yikes.
Just never should have. So, pretty embarrassing stuff for Team USA if they
Let's-
are to not advance.
Go Italy, and then we'll just pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, cheer for St. Louis Cardinal Thomas Saggese tonight and Team Italy.
Oh, I didn't know he was on that team.
Mm-hmm. And if Team Italy wins,
Last night, we're like, are there any Cardinals
safe.
playing? We're like, no.
yeah, Saggese's playing. I think that's
Goldschmidt
it.
and Arenado and other few that we could think of, but
yeah.
didn't know that Saggese was out on the
Goldschmidt
team.
was in the lineup last night.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been. The St. Louis Blues did what they have done
on
all year long.
This is your fault.
Except
This
for
is
the last
all
6
on
games.
you.
They lost. They blew a 3-0 lead, and they lost in epic fashion. Now, while I'm happy that they lost, I'm not happy that it happened in overtime because they still got a point from it.
That I would be doing you a great service for you to explain, maybe daily, why you're cheering against the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, otherwise people are going to be
People just
really
think you're
confused
a
if they're tuning
jerk.
in for the first time.
He's a huge Islanders fan.
Yeah. What kind of underwear you got on today, Ethan?
Chicago
Stan Kroenke.
Cubs. Stan Kroenke.
The stank jeans,
Sammy
the
Sosa.
stank pants.
You should have said Sosa. Brought it back.
No.
It's Paul Goldschmidt. No, it's Mark DeRosa. It's still Mark DeRosa. It's all over,
that's
all over
cute.
our underwear, yeah. The Blues were winning this game 3-0 yesterday, and they lost 4-3 in overtime.
And your investment in their loss is because
Here's the truth. I'm a little bit dramatic when I say that I want them to lose every night because it's not good for the atmosphere in your locker room when you lose every night and when you are just okay with that. They shouldn't be content with losing every night.
like you are.
Correct. There is benefit to losing long term because they have a better chance of getting a really high draft pick, and the Blues haven't drafted higher than 10th more than once in the last 18 years. It doesn't happen very often that the Blues have an opportunity to draft that high. So there certainly is benefit, but it would also be really bad for the locker room if these guys are just okay with losing. So last night, a lot of good performances. Jimmy Snuggerud looked great. Dylan Holloway looked great. Robert Thomas looked really good. Joel Hofer also looked good. Blues defenseman Theo Lindstein made his NHL debut. He had an assist. He skated really well, Jim Montgomery said. So some good things came from last night. And that is why I love so much that they lost, because good things came from it. It's great. I love it. It's wonderful.
It's a win-win.
Blues lose.
Echan7 on X.
Yeah.
2 N's.
Echan7 and a new episode of the Lou Sports Talk podcast came out this morning where we had Lou Korek, NHL.com Blues writer, on to break down some of the trade deadline.
Did you tell him how much you hate the Blues?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I don't hate the Blues, actually.
No, I didn't.
I don't actually
You're
hate
wanting
the
them to
Blues.
lose for their benefit.
This
Correct.
is tough love from Ethan.
Yeah.
It's like you got to rear these young kids on the ice up so that they can compete at their top level or some bull
Listen,
crap
guys,
like that.
Right.
you wouldn't believe this. I don't know, maybe you would. Maybe Ryan would. There are people way farther on this than me that are like, I want them to never win a game again. Like that's some people are really like that out there.
How many St. Louis Blues that are currently playing for us are going to be gone after this year?
Oh, it's so hard to know.
I don't
At
even know
least
how many players there are, so just give me a number.
There is, let's see, 12, there's
45.
18, 19, 20 that are on a roster actively.
47.
I would guess that at least 5 of them, maybe 6 are gone, probably.
Wow.
But there's turnover every year. That's not to say that, all those guys are going to be big names like Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. Maybe some big names are gone. There's been a lot of rumors about Jordan Binnington potentially no longer being on the roster next year, but we'll kind of have to wait and see on that.
All right. Well, thank you. Sports and Local. Where do people get the new podcast episode?
STL Sports Central's YouTube channel. under the Lou Sports Talk playlist on there, or you can look it up on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Lou Sports Talk, the Lou Sports Talk.
Follow Ethan on X at echan, 2Ns7.
Yup.
All right, let's take a quick break. YouTube poll for today. Have you ever taken ivermectin? We want to know your thoughts. Text us 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Back in a minute. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com. Those basements are wet and they shouldn't be. You know that. And you've got somebody who's waiting to take your phone call here. 314-271-9900. That's 314-271-9900. Matt Hayes, he is a guy you can trust. And I think that's what really matters when you're putting the foundation of your home into the hands of somebody who's going to provide you the solution you've been looking for. You need to have someone you can trust, someone who has experience, and somebody who has the best team in the business here in St. Louis and the bi-state region. If you have water coming in your basement of any amount, if there's moisture getting in, if it's a big old problem and you just discovered it, rain is here and you need to make sure that it's not in your basement, call Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-271-9900, 314-271-9900. If you go to their website at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, you can see all of the different type of foundation repair services that they offer. You're reaching out to Matt Hayes. He's a man you can trust. He's reliable. He's a good person. Great family-owned business. 314-271-9900, homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
If you want to go see Jimmy Fallon at the factory on April 11th for free, now is the time to call 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. The 10th caller will get a pair of tickets to see Jimmy Fallon at the factory on April 11th. It is 2:35. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Did you guys see? I shared a shanty version of this song last night. I was super pumped.
What's a shanty version?
You don't know what a shanty is?
Mm-mm.
It's like
I know
an
it's
Irish pub song.
Oh, I know that a shanty is a type of building.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I wonder if I'm gonna share it. Maybe we'll play it before we leave this segment. Reminder that the YouTube live chat poll is we're asking if you have taken ivermectin. You can text us at 314-241-9797. I love hearing your thoughts and your reactions to this poll, whether you've taken it, not taken it, you think people are crazy who take it, or whatever it might be. 314-241-9797. And of course, vote in the live broadcast, live chat poll at youtube.com/@AnnieFry. Rachel Zegler, that's Snow White.
Yeah.
You remember her?
Yep.
She was asked recently about her comments. Do you know that movie lost $170 million?
I knew it was a lot. I didn't know exactly what it was.
$170 million. I would think that would almost make you unemployable.
Yeah, that's a bomb.
Because people, we would go on and we would look at the movie theaters around here, and there were shows upon shows who had no tickets sold. You could buy a seat anywhere in the theater. Fox News reports that actress Rachel Zegler fired back at critics once again following the backlash to her casting in the Snow White remake. So I didn't know this about her specifically, but I guess she was in West Side Story maybe, and people were suggesting that she wasn't like her complexion didn't. What is West Side Story?
It's like 50s gang.
Yeah, but
fight.
I mean, there's a
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. Okay, so I guess she didn't represent them enough or whatever. So she was saying, it wasn't enough for me to do. I wasn't dark enough for this, and I'm not white enough from that. I think she comes from Colombian and Caucasian descent. She said, quote, "I was told I wasn't enough of one thing for West Side Story and too much of another for Snow White." Just even that statement, that is not why people decided not to show up for Snow White. She's suggesting that people didn't watch the movie Snow White because she wasn't white enough. She made a whole bunch of comments about a whole bunch of political things while this movie was on its press tour. She does comment, too, that she had threats to her safety. I don't wish that upon anybody. But there is a portion of being a public figure where that stuff kind of comes. And I say that because I have like one toe in public figure land, and I've had threats to my safety.
The other thing is that in Hollywood especially, and these are big marquee budget movies, you are up against literally thousands and thousands of other people who also are being cast or not cast based on what they are not or what they are. Just like she's saying.
I want to read the rest. I'm trying to get through this article. The quote here, she adds, "I do think there's an argument to be made that, in the public eye at least, when you're two things, you're simultaneously nothing. But I refuse to assimilate for anybody else's comfort." Again, she's making this all about her. It's not about art. And the thing about art and artists who are actors and actresses is that they are supposed to become the thing that is the art. It's not actually about her. It's supposed to be about the character, and you're supposed to be able to melt into that character and make people believe that you are that thing. And I think it's very possible that she could be loved and respected. She's very talented. I didn't know this, but I think she was in Disney's Wish. I think she's the vocalist in that, and she's an incredible singer. Didn't know that. She popped up on my Sirius XM because we had it on the Disney Channel, and a Wish song came up that my kids like. That movie came out kind of during COVID, and she's singing the song, and I'm like, oh, this is the Snow White chick. I had no idea, because she completely put everything about herself in front of the art. And the interesting thing about art, this is probably a debatable statement, but like art, you can do art for yourself, but you also do art for other people. You pour yourself into something that is artistic so that people can consume it and react to it. It's not so that people can consume it and that everybody universally loves it, or maybe universally hates it, or whatever it might be. But you pour yourself into something that is artistic to create something that is new that didn't exist before so that people can consume it and react to it. The Fox News article here says Zegler also addressed her controversial comments on the outdated portrayal of the heroine in the original film and her public support of Palestinians in Gaza. In 2004, she wrote on X, "And always remember Free Palestine." This is where this is where Rachel Zegler needs to come to an understanding with what actually happened. In her press tour, when she was making the laps that you do in when you're trying to get, the whole point is to run out there and get people to come see your movie. And even more basic than that, to buy tickets, to spend their money. The whole point of that whole process is to get people to part with their cash so that you make money, because it's a business. This is what she said in 2023 regarding the movie.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince, or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Lady, it's not because you weren't white enough for Snow White or not tan enough to be Puerto Rican in West Side Story. You said that crap. And I just want to throw you into the understanding. Do you remember what abject, unchecked, unfettered woke sounded like? Mm-hmm. Enter Rachel Zegler. Listen, you want to make a movie that alters the Snow White story a little bit? You'd be best served to make that movie, to encourage people to come see it, and then people react and say, you know what, that really wasn't the Snow White story that was transformational in film production with cartoons and animation and drawing and everything. Like, Snow White is pivotal for a film, for innovative in doing what it was doing in the 1920s. And the story precedes Disney's Snow White story. It's not Disney's manifestation of like some patriarchal love story. In promoting her movie, she craps on everything that everybody who has some sort of nostalgia for Snow White, she decides that all of that is not only dated, but it's offensive that it even existed. And she says, talking about the prince that was cast, good dude, his scenes might all get cut. This is what Rachel Zegler did to promote going to see her movie. This is where she made it all about herself, all about what was in her heart or in her mind, which she's allowed to have all of those opinions. She can think all those thoughts. Why the hell is she going on a Disney press tour to tell people to come watch her movie and basically giving the finger to anybody who ever even dared like the movie Snow White before? And then here we are in 2026, 3-4 years later. And she's like, oh, this was really hard on me. You know, I'm simultaneously two things. I'm Colombian, and I think she has a Colombian parent and a white parent. And the lead paragraph in foxnews.com here is that these are the things she's saying. Folks, this is the story. What she was saying there, and it's not even just what she said, her tone. And F you to everybody who has ever thought that the classic princess fairy tale love story was one to be celebrated. She's out there with finger wagging, shame on all of you. And I listen to that, and it sounds so old. It sounds like, listen to her talk like that, sounds so yesterday. If an artist comes out and does that right now, I think two things are happening. The public is going publicly, like, get this out of here. Not a chance. Not interested whatsoever. But I also think that companies have wised up to saying, you are not going to do this. You are not going to go on a press tour. Your public opinions here do not need to sink the whole ship to the tune of $170 million. Fox News reports the actress never retracted her statements. But in the interview with Harper's Bazaar, she said, quote, I've said what I feel. and that will always be a testament to my core beliefs as a human. That's where I stand. Zegler added, quote, there's an understanding that the temptation to speak doesn't always mean that it must be done, and that there's a lot of opportunities to make more meaningful change than a tweet. That, to me, is the summation of her going, you ever want to work in this industry again? You're never going to do that. Maybe, maybe not.
She just seems very stupid.
Yeah.
She just seems like a fool when she says this stuff, because nobody listening to it, even if you're in Hollywood and you're on the left and you know the industry, you're listening to that and going, give me a freaking break. Give me a break. You were granted things that people dream of, and you just keep complaining.
And she is talented. So, like, you're totally getting in your own way. The next paragraph here, or sentence here, says, she also revealed that if she had known the backlash would be so intense and threaten her safety, she would have, quote, just thrown my phone into the ocean. So I think that's a step.
Yeah.
She says earlier in this article that she doesn't regret it. Sounds like she kind of regrets it.
You got to regret a huge flop. I don't think there's any other way to spin that.
I've seen people who are like-minded to me who have gone back and watched Snow White and been like, it's not that bad. They're not like raving about it being the best movie they've ever seen.
Yeah.
But they would have gone to see it because it would have been something to do on a Friday or Saturday night. But she's the one who made everybody go, well, I guess I can't do that now.
Well, the same thing is true of a lot of these movies that decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to float one little thing that's woke to just get this movie some attention. And it's backfiring in the last few years. Superman was the same one. I watched that recently. I thought, this movie wasn't bad. But I remember James Gunn came out and said, oh, yeah, Superman's an immigrant. He's not from here either. And you're like, this is not the Superman story.
Isn't that the crowd that's already going to the movies? Like, I don't think you're playing your cards right here.
Turn this on its head. Can you imagine making a Superman movie in 2026 that is unabashedly pro-American? It would kill at the box office.
See Melania.
Yeah.
The documentary
right.
which apparently is in streaming now. I said when it first came, when they like first announced it, I'm like, I'll watch it on streaming. I don't know that I really want to go to the theater. I don't like going to the theater to begin with. Did either of you guys see it?
My wife just watched it the other night.
Streaming?
Yep. I came in at the end of it, but it looked like it was a fun movie at the end.
I haven't seen it. I guarantee you I haven't seen it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
Have you?
No.
Okay.
No. We'll have to get Mrs. Range on here to review it if I don't get a chance to watch it. I want to watch it. That shot of her in the promo where it like is almost a 360 shot around her in her beautiful hat on Inauguration Day where she says, here we go again. And she says it with such mood. There's just something about it that is like the classiest way to be like, suckers. I just like that. I like it a lot. I love Melania Trump. All right, let's get to the YouTube poll results when we come back. We need you to weigh in real quick. Have you ever taken ivermectin? I got a text from a friend who said that they had rosacea on their cheek. They were prescribed a medication. They looked at it and 1% ivermectin cream. Rosacea.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I that's another application for ivermectin. Have you used it? Let us know. We'll be right back.
97.1 FM Talk in Action spotlights Helmets First, a nonprofit promoting kids' safety through free bike helmets, education, and partnerships with local police. Officers help fit helmets and connect with kids in the community. Learn how you can help at helmetsfirst.com.
License number GL2500615.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Two sounds that can wreck your sleep: a drip and a toilet that won't stop running.
Drip, drip, all night.
Good news, we're doing plumbing now. Same folks, same care, same we do it right.
Leaky faucet, running toilet,
or a stubborn clog, call Grasser.
Electric and plumbing, the Grasser way.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad you're with us this afternoon. Is it still super windy outside? It does look windy. I don't know. It was so windy coming into work today. I got to keep my hands attended to the whole time.
What are the protesters doing outside right now who are protesting in favor of ivermectin but not listening to the show currently?
Gosh, you really put me on the spot.
Yeah, I did.
I can't see them.
Too windy?
They're behind the window. It's too windy. They're like blowing around like Mary Poppins.
They probably don't have their signs anymore.
The sign.
It's so stupid. Ivermectin, we want to know if you've used it. You can text us at 314-241-9797. Ryan's combing through those texts diligently. Use small words.
This one says, my daughter and her husband in Georgia. Well, that's a lot of big words, but I did it.
Georgia.
Had COVID 3 times and in caps.
Does that say
yeah,
dogator?
they took it. What?
Dogator? What?
No, but let me get to this next one. I have never taken...
Speaking of.
Different person. I have never taken ivermectin, but I would. We used it for our dogs.
Again, like, I have no problem with that. I just think that there are a lot of things our dogs do that I wouldn't be like, it's good enough for Rosie.
Good greets. Good greets. We used it for our dogs because it is way cheaper than heartworm medication. We talked to our vet for the right dosage. But they've never taken it for themselves.
Are you interested in it?
Yeah, I'm interested in it. But I want to see what you do. Because I know that you'll research it to death.
Okay.
And then I'll be comfortable with it if you are.
But you have conditions.
It doesn't matter.
This is kind of like the beginning of COVID. Trisha's in here. Trisha, do you remember when we were like, Ryan, you should take this seriously?
COVID in general?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did he not? It actually doesn't surprise me.
You
that
might
he
not have
didn't.
been lingering around us as much at that time, but like they're like, it's a respiratory disease that affects your lungs, and that is your condition with cystic fibrosis. And Ryan was like, I don't think it's a big deal.
I was like, you guys, everybody's overdoing it on this thing. And I remember specifically saying it was probably 1 week later than right now in 2020 that I said, what are they going to do? Shut down all the schools? I mean, this is getting out of hand.
You're the one.
In fact, they are.
What are we going to have? No sports? I remember saying all of that stuff and then being like, well.
I went to Florida at the end of January. Do you remember this? And people were starting to wear masks on the plane. And you guys were like, are you going to wear a mask on the plane?
Oh, I do remember that.
And I was kind of thinking maybe. Because this is what I left for Florida. And that week, they had like 2 cases in California, and that's when Nancy Pelosi was like, you will come to Chinatown if you are not a racist.
That's right.
Do you remember that actually happened?
Yes, she did.
She's down there. She's like, everybody.
That's not an exaggeration.
Congregate here. Everything is fine. You need to be in Chinatown.
And then Trump's a racist for shutting down countries from coming in.
No joke. All right, let's get to the YouTube live chat poll results, Ethan.
281 votes today. Have you ever taken ivermectin? 13% say that they need more information on it, including Annie Fry. 18% say yes, they have. 28% say no, they wouldn't. Or they wouldn't. And then 42% say no, but I would.
42% say they haven't taken it, but they're open to it, which is what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying I need more information, which you were then going to use.
Yeah, I'm just going to coattail.
To take it. Brad, you were a no, but you would as well?
No, but I would.
All right, keep giving us the info. You can tweet me at Annie Fry Show, The Mark Reardon Show, next.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
Want to save money on your next family vacation? Go old school.
44% of today's travel budget is spent on just getting there.
Ed Jertson of the Engage Wealth Group says you can save on airfare by ditching the skies for the old-fashioned road trip. He says family vacation memories are built on experiences, not the price tag attached to them.
Financially and experience-wise, maybe we just need to rethink